Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next session of All Quiet on the Serisian front. We've had some harrowing times within the last session, so let's go ahead and get a recap from somebody who would like a player inspiration. Any volunteers?
I can try and start us out, but I might need details.
Our hero.
Folks'
Give it a
memory
shot.
are jogged.
I'll throw in things as I remember them.
Thank you. So, our ragtag bunch of soldiers are continuing in the Brahma. We have the item that we went to pick up, which turns out to be a crown or hat of some sort that has a connection to seemingly an ancient god, although many of us won't necessarily put all of those connections together given the time and place we live in.
Most of us don't even believe in gods because they've been gone for
Right.
so long. It's like, they're probably
Yeah.
just stories.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're traveling along. Conversations are had with the hat. No one of use puts the hat on.
As in Ricky
Very
and Richard,
diplomatic way of saying
Yeah.
the two Ricks.
I remember starting the session, we avoided a oncoming zombie
Oh.
giant.
Two of them,
Right.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we make it out of that, and then as we are going down the road, we happen upon like some sort of like, I don't know, what was it, like a statue or a column in the middle of
An
the road.
Obelisk?
Obelisk? Was another obelisk, and there appeared
Don't
to be
trust
some
them.
sort of ritual going on. We battle ensued. I believe Richard got a little too close to the obelisk, got into fairly dire straits.
Oh, I got in there.
And then I believe it ends with Class putting the hat on. Is that, or Ash, excuse me, putting
Ash.
putting the hat
Yeah.
on.
Class
Ash,
did
yeah.
not put on the crown, but Ash did.
Yes. Ash puts the crown on, and we are able to defeat the group that is
And the
conducting
obelisk.
ritual.
Which seemed to be self-repairing, or rather, if there was any organic matter within a certain
Yes.
radius, it utilized that raw material to keep itself going. And with Richard
It did
confined
try
to that
drink me.
radius, it succeeded in drinking you at least once. With Richard ensconced in that radius, Ash made the call to utilize the promised power of the crown to sever the connection because the crown said it could do that. And, desperate times call for desperate measures. It seemed to work. Richard was able to disengage, and at that point, the obelisk was destroyed, and Richard kept his gooey bits in his flesh to himself. Didn't have to share
Yeah.
anymore.
I guess to fill in some details, after fleeing the giants and fleeing that scene, there was some interesting conversations with the crown. There was some tomfoolery going on, some pranks on our poor old good boy Richard.
I'm just
You
a
can't prove
dude.
anything. That won't hold up in court. You have no evidence.
We did take a short rest between the obelisk and fleeing the scene.
We did. We also pushed through that valley specifically.
Right. It was at the end of our push where we didn't have all of our resources recovered that we decided to engage with the obelisk because we knew a ritual was happening and we thought we need to stop this.
Is anybody exhausted? I think someone's exhausted, right?
It's me, the guy who almost died.
The guy who got drunk. Dranked? Drinked?
Drank.
I think drained is the right
Consumed?
Yes.
Who am I, Josephine?
But yeah.
So, you are making progress towards Stonefield. You've just had this harrowing encounter, and as the obelisk has collapsed upon itself, that encounter has ended, and you all sit within Brahma 19, aka Razgar's Revenge, in the quiet air. It is pretty late at night. It's verging on morning. You made the push through that valleys to try and outrun the giants, and as such, you need to find a place to camp to recover.
I believe...
Ash, you're still wearing the crown.
Yes.
Roll me a perception check.
Oh boy.
Everything. It's horrific.
That didn't... Oh, there we go. It's just delayed. 22.
With a 22, I'm going to pull you over to the crossroad map once more, where all of you can see the obelisk in the middle of the crossroad. There are many undead bodies laying on the ground, but with the true sight the crown grants you, Ash, you see the air is filled with spirits, ghostly forms of humanoid shape. Some of them look relatively fresh. Some of them are so old that they have nothing but vague detail about them. It's impossible to tell who they were, who they are, even if they're human, or maybe elven, or orcish, or dwarvish. You can't tell. What you can tell is they were watching this spectacle. They were looking on this obelisk as it was draining energy around it. The green light reflecting off even their pale, ethereal visages. And as the obelisk is destroyed, it's as though a spectacle has just ended. As though the show is over, and these spirits seem to wander aimlessly once again. No longer paying any attention to you, or the fight, or the undead that were controlled by it. That's what you see with the enhanced vision that Crown grants you.
I believe at the end of the session, last session, Ash was more worried about getting a combat medic off, or like treating Richard's wounds as soon as he got into the Brahma.
Sure.
And he asked Joe to take over driving it.
I remember something about that. I will, and as I climb into the driver's seat and I like adjust it so I can slide back, and take the little blocks off the pedals.
I always forget about the blocks.
Joe will look at everybody and say, "We made quite a bit of noise. I think we should go as fast as possible."
I think noticing all the ghosts, like he'll just kind of like, as he's working on Richard, he'll just kind of
Richard, as you go to Richard, he will 100% take a step back and just stare directly at the crown on your head.
The only one who wasn't there.
Yeah. How you doing, Ash?
I'm fine. Let me work on you.
You can roll an insight check if you'd like.
I would love to roll an insight check. I would love to fail one of those for you.
Okay.
And I have disadvantage because I have a level of exhaustion.
You did.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
2 solid rolls.
It's okay, because I have a -2 to my charisma, and I'm trying to persuade you.
Yeah. Does he seem like himself?
He seems anxious, I imagine. He doesn't seem different from any Ash you've ever seen. He seems exactly as he usually is after an intense combat situation.
Okay. So I'll stop like pulling away and kind of let you start and just go, "How's Regal?"
I'm fine, thanks.
Cool.
They saved your life.
Okay. Clearly nervous about this, but letting Ash do his medical diligence and kind of shooting glances to like everyone else in the Brahma to be like, is he okay? Are we okay? Like,
Joe just kind of shrugs at you because she's of the mindset that like one problem at a time as she's getting the Brahma into gear to move.
Zed says something agreeable and roundabout.
Yep. Sounds all right.
He's so hot, damn it.
True.
Why does he never wear a shirt?
He said something aloof.
His art is just him shirtless. So
Yeah.
in
It's
my
true.
head, he just randomly finds reasons to take his shirt off all the time in character.
Jacob Black from Twilight. Can Joe start looking for a good place to hunker down? That
Oh,
seems
yeah. Go
covered.
ahead and roll survival.
out of the way. Survival. Good at those.
Okay.
15
Ash,
HP to you. Yeah.
I'll take
with
it.
a 15 medicine check, as you are looking over Richard's wounds, the first thing you notice is they are like burn scars. You expected maybe lacerations or magical necrotic effect, but no, it's as though he was burned. The flesh is raised, and clearly there are layers of dead skin that you're basically removing and applying ointment to. It looks very painful, but Richard, it doesn't really hurt. It's very peculiar.
The pain's on the inside.
Sure.
It's all emotional.
And if I see that, then I will go ahead and treat it like any other burn that I've treated before.
Yeah, you heal him for a 15.
I rolled a 28 on my survival.
Yeah, you can safely get out of the crossroads, and we can move on to the gestured coast, heading towards Stonefield. I'm sure the map will load for all of you eventually.
Kind of regret not taking a look around that obelisk, but if I recall correctly from last session, you said that the ground seemed kind of like sinkhole-y.
Well, I said that it appears as though the obelisk was falling into a pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it probably wasn't safe to stick around anyways.
It's a safe assumption. The ground that you are driving over, I remind you, the Brahma earth glides. Its weight does not actually press into the earth. It's magic and nonsense. So it likely wouldn't have sunk into anything, and Ash would know this. But as you are driving, you are just making haste to get out of there. You safely move on from the crossroads. And as you are driving, with that crazy survival check, you find a very convenient nook to tuck Razgar's Revenge in to set up for camp.
And I hide it with whatever viable vegetation or brush is in the vicinity.
Yeah, you've basically driven into a dense copse of trees. It's kind of hidden just by nature of what you found.
Sure, but safe than sorry.
Roll stealth.
Terrible. A 9.
Okay.
I'm not helping any more than it already is hidden.
You're trying to hide it, and then the Brahma, you push it just a little too far, and all of you hear
Shit, sorry.
as a
Oh,
tree tips over
fuck.
slightly.
Oh, shit. Alright, I'll keep an eye out for the next couple hours to see if that drew any attention.
Lots and lots of leaves and seeds have fallen down onto the Brahma, which maybe helps disguise it. Maybe not. It looks a little unnatural.
So we got one problem kind of taken care of right now. Brahma's hidden. We're gonna hunker down for the night, but she kind of looks at Ash. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Are you still wearing the crown, or have you taken it off?
As soon as I got treated Richard, I would start the process of unattuning from it.
So you
Seeing
take
if
it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seeing
As-
if Regal's promise was true.
When you take the crown off, Regal says, "It has been a pleasure."
He's very polite.
Rich just goes, "You couldn't have taken that off before operating on me for just like
Exposure
my
therapy.
blood pressure."
I didn't know if your injuries were I don't know. Never seen anything like it before, so or at least that obelisk. So I
Well,
don't
that
know
makes
if
2 of us.
I didn't know what kind of injuries I would run in when I checked over you, so I figured that would take priority.
I can explain that it definitely felt like I was being pulled apart at the seams.
Well,
Would that be accurate, Echo?
Yeah. That fits.
Ricky, how are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm good. If we're gonna take a rest, I'm fine.
I am extraordinarily fucked up.
I'm better than that.
Ditto.
Yeah. I'm at 9 hit points out of like 50 something. No shit. 9 hit points out of 39. Where did I get 50 from? Boy,
Well,
took a lot out of me.
I am beat. I'm exhausted of everything. I can't help any of you unless I have some a special med pack for Ricky for today. But
I actually have a bit of natural healing on me that I'm going to bestow upon myself right now. Cure wounds.
Mm-hmm.
9 back.
You've doubled your
Twice
health.
Yeah, I look twice as good as I did. Whew. Hopefully we don't run into any more trouble tonight. Or ever again, but I doubt that much.
Ricky has no healing capabilities, but I'd be running around trying to make people comfortable. Like,
That's very sweet.
You know,
Oh shit, is
whatever I
Erin
could.
okay? Like, I know she wasn't hit, but she might be re-traumatized.
Oh, she's still hidden underneath the gunner seat in the back of the Brahma. You look
Maybe
over
I don't
at
think
her
she
and she
ever
just looks at
Focus
you.
on her.
What?
Just making sure you're okay, damn.
But poking me in
See
the
if I-
head?
Let's see if I give a shit again.
She doesn't say anything.
she gives
I
a
feel
shit.
like she never was untraumatized to be re-traumatized. I feel like
That's
it's just
true.
one continual trauma.
Are you okay though, Aaron?
I'm fine.
All right.
Sorry about the detour. We'll get to Stonefield soon enough, hopefully. Do you think they grow stones there?
What?
It's a joke, sorry. I have my
I
dad's
got-
sense of humor, which is
Ricky
not.
got
was
it.
just like shaking her head, like, yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
That's why they
somebody,
call it that.
somebody gets me.
Okay.
Are we taking watches tonight?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to watch order. Zed will watch with whoever. Perhaps someone with poor perception that he can assist.
I would love to take be last watch.
I would love to be last watch.
So I will have disadvantage on any checks unless I am last watch because of my level of exhaustion.
Okay, I'll take third watch.
I guess I'll take second with the unusually stoic Zed.
No, wait, hold on. What's going on? We need. Okay.
Yeah, you said you were gonna be third. Keysby. Richard's gonna be fourth.
No, I was gonna watch with. Never mind. It's fine. A third watch.
You can watch
That's
with
fine.
your new best friend if you want to. She kind of eyes where Regal was stowed away.
You're very funny.
That's 2 people who think I'm funny now.
You know, actually, you can grow rocks. It's just compacted earth over like a long time.
You made my joke unfunny. Congratulations, Ash.
You're welcome.
I don't think
He
you needed
smiles a
Ash
little
to
bit.
make it unfunny.
Was that in character, Richard?
Yes.
Joe just gives you a look. Settles down for sleep for
I
the
light
first
up
watch.
the
Shaking hands.
mellow thistle. I'm just
Okay. So, Ash, your third watch? Alright. One moment, please.
as we're getting ready to go to bed, Richard will go up to Joe at one point and say, you know, you put everybody at risk. You didn't shoot that obelisk while I was in there.
She just kind of blinks and
Thanks
finally she says, I can't tell, are you thanking me or criticizing me?
for that. I'm actively thanking you.
I'm not going to be the one to put you in the ground. Okay, let me rephrase that. If you do die, I will put you in the ground because that's just the right thing to do. I was raised by a mortician. Well, actually, we're supposed to burn you first, but I would bury you as well. Rather, I'm not going to be responsible for killing you unless you ask me to.
Well, I appreciate that.
Right. Maybe we should talk about kind of like end of life plans amongst all of us. Do you think that's a good idea? Kind of like an expectation, like how you want to be treated, where your belongings are going to go.
Since I don't have too many of those belongings left, but I guess whatever I have, make sure I guess gets back to my dad at Port Refuge.
Let's open this conversation up because I actually do think this is quite important. I think the manner in which you were handled after your death, if the gods aren't going to give a shit, we might as well.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be dead. I really don't care what happens with my body when I'm not there.
But you do have a father.
I do.
Do you think this is? I know you said you don't care what happens when you die because you'll be dead and there isn't an afterlife that we can glean, but mourning isn't for the dead. It's for the people you're leaving behind. And if you have someone you're leaving behind, tell me how you want to be treated.
I guess bring my ashes or dog tags or whatever's left after whatever gets me to my dad.
Does he have a name?
Yeah. Richard A. Dismas Sr.
You're one of those families, huh?
I'm a junior. Yeah.
Didn't think you deserved your own name.
Can we call you JR now?
I'd prefer if you didn't.
Wouldn't it be RJ, Richard Jr.?
Whichever you prefer.
Neither of those.
Got it, RJ.
Okay, Dick it is.
Dick's my father.
Ricky, how do you want to be treated if you fall in the line of duty?
Well, and I'm gonna kind of gesture to my face. I think you should all probably stay kind of away from me. I don't want anybody else to get what I have, so I guess burn me if you can. There's nobody you need to let know or anything like that, but maybe if you all just have like a really nice meal or something.
Soup in your honor?
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm the one who got left. I won't leave others behind, if you know what I mean. So
I do. I do suppose you might believe that there's nobody left behind, but do you think there'd be someone? Even if you don't think they'd want to know? Or are you truly... And she doesn't feel like she can end the sentence.
Yeah, Ricky's gonna kind of just like look off. I have that like those herbs around my neck, and I would probably just grab the herbs and just say, "Nope, it's just me, just me." Well, and us again, like have a nice big meal. I like good food, so.
I know you do. I don't mean to pry, but I think this is important.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Ash?
Thought a lot about this. I suppose make sure that my journals and my books and my notes and research all go to the ANA. And well, If you have to, if you burn my body, bring my ashes to my mother.
You have a name?
1 second, I'm writing up a backstory.
1 second. Well, I'll look through my notes. What
Uh,
was your mother's name?
Sorry, 1 sec for me.
Made all this time to look because you knew I was gonna ask.
Yep. I have a
Shame
lot
on
of
us.
Google Docs. You can call her Sky.
Sky.
Her full
Silver's
name
Reach.
is. Yes. Her full name is Under the Sky, but you can call her Sky.
Understood. Ash is back. Ash to Ash. If I'm capable of doing so, I'll say it be done. That goes for all of you.
And what about you? You're asking everybody else.
Well, I mean, I got a hometown.
Yeah.
The western side of Ceres. Titan's Pace Canyon. The town's called Black Powder.
Richard,
Yes,
roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
I would love to.
Uh-oh.
Was
Continue,
it something
Joe.
I said?
Oh. You might have a disadvantage. It's not a skill check.
Go ahead and continue, Joe.
Joe pulls out, after she says Black Powder is my hometown, she pulls out a letter in her jacket pocket. And she says, if I die, hopefully this doesn't go with me. The instructions are on the letter, and I'd prefer if you didn't read it, but what am I going to do when I'm dead? Just send it to the right place. I'd appreciate it.
Of course. You have my word.
Thank you. Not to be a downer, but I think we've all had a few brushes with death recently, and it's something that reasonably needs to be considered. I don't like these rolls.
We obligatory ask Zed the same thing.
He
Yeah.
responds with something long-winded but interesting.
My passive insight is a 15. Sorry, it's a
That's it,
17.
With a 17, well, Richard,
Yeah. At
what,
the
what does she notice?
specifically at the mention of it was black powder.
Mhm.
Black powder.
Yes, specifically at the mention of the town of Black Powder, Richard kind of pulls away and maybe just pulls up his mellow thistle cigarette and just kind of tries to kind of stare into the middle distance and dissociate.
I think upon noting that, Joe would look at him and her eyes would narrow and she'd kind of lean back and say, you ever been to the western side of Ceres, Richard?
Parts of it.
Yeah, which parts?
You can look at the map.
Well, I've made it not quite as far as Black Powder.
Inside check.
Roll an
that's-
insight check.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Well, it's a 13. You are exhausted, but I don't believe it's obvious if Richard's telling the truth or not.
I can tell you over the table if it's the truth or not with Echo's permission.
Yeah, you do. You can do whatever you want.
Never made it all the way to Black Powder. Just along the road there.
Joe nods and she says, good memories? Bad memories?
Some good, most bad.
Yeah. I grew up there. I know that the bad definitely outweigh the good most days.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like dog shit. I'm gonna turn in for the night.
Yeah.
Ricky.
Richard will go to his little tent sleeping area.
Sure. You all have pitched tents up and around the edges of the Brahma, so you can quickly
lean-tos.
Yeah, you can quickly gather them up if you need to move quickly. Ricky, your first watch, and thus I need a D100 from you. Rolling perception. Okay, and lastly, I need a D6.
A tree I accidentally knocked down is gonna bite us in the ass. I know it.
Okay. After the harrowing events of the day, the loud noises of the cannon fire, how intense everything was, and that acrid smell of decay, and sulfur, and salt, you find it quiet and almost soothing here in this copse of trees. Leaning against the Brahma, it's not hard to just kind of relax your muscles and look around. Time seems to pass smoothly and you don't see anything moving, which is rare enough. Your watch passes without incident. So you awaken Joe for your next watch? And Zed?
Jed.
Zed will...
Yeah, I would nudge both awake and just make sure they knew everything was calm.
All quiet on the Serisian front.
Okay. Zed will assist you in your perception check.
Gotcha.
But please roll me a D6, if you will.
D6 is a 6. Perception at advantage is a dirty 20.
Okay. Ricky. I need you to make a wisdom save.
Oh no, what did I do to Ricky?
You didn't do anything.
Ah, good. As long as it's not my fault, I can live with it.
As long as it's not another disease.
It is not another disease, don't worry.
You're welcome!
You've gotten tuberculosis. No. As you settle down for the night, you fall asleep almost instantly, Ricky. It's been a long day. But as you were listening to everyone nostalgically going over where they were from, why they're here, what they want to have happen if they die, those memories, those thoughts are rolling through your mind as you shut your eyes. When you fall asleep, you dream. Most of your dreams are of home. But there's one that stands out to you. You're standing out in front of a stone cottage. The walls around the town include this cottage, so everything feels a little bit claustrophobic. You never liked it here. It's unpleasant. And as you're leaning against the well, waiting as the bucket fills, a woman that you recognize is standing opposite you, leaning against the well as well. And she reaches out and touches your cheek, where you know the stone is. She simply says to you, "You were always so soft. What happened?"
guess I'll just look at her and just say, I just have to keep going. And it's really hard to stay soft when you have to keep going.
Roll me a persuasion check. She looks saddened, kind of leans away from you, pulling her hands away. And then she looks down at her hand and she looks a little puzzled as you watch the stone spread over her fingertips and up her arm. And she says, "Oh. Well, don't keep going so far that you forget where you came from." And that's the last thing she says before she is a statue in front of you.
I'll just kind of like, as soon as I realize what's happened, right? Like if I don't think about her touching my cheek, and then when she starts to look at her hand, I'll probably like almost like yelp. And then as she turns to statue, there'll just be like just tears streaming down my face. But like not in shock, right? It's like it would be like reliving a feeling I've already had.
Sure. When she sees, even though she's a statue, when she sees your reaction, you see that look of sorrow and worry about you turn to almost a sympathetic smile, which is the face that is frozen in stone in front of you. And that is what you dream of during the rest of the night. Sorry.
Ricky's like tossing and turning, right? Like
No
one of those,
teddy
like,
bear to hold.
yeah, bad dreams. So that's like, yeah, a lot of tossing and turning.
Joe, yours and Zed's watch passed without incident. Ash,
Yes.
you are awakened.
All right.
Please roll me a d6.
A
Oh.
3.
All right, roll me perception.
Uh, not bad.
An 18. Okay. Well, something does happen during your watch, but we'll get to it because something has to happen during Richard as well while he's sleeping. Richard, you also have a dream.
Oh, good.
It's a familiar experience. You're out on the road again. You're seated on a log with a campfire whittling down next to you. You're not by yourself. There's a few other people around you that you recognize, but the most impactful one that you know, a gnome, is looking up at you from next to the campfire. You're currently tending to wounds that look like a strange lattice work of burns running up and down your arms. She looks at you and she says, "You fucked this up, didn't you?"
At this point, just reliving the whole memory of just like, we didn't know what was in there. They were supposed to just be trade goods. We didn't know what they were smuggling.
She's just like shaking her head with a frown on her face. She slaps a bottle of, at first you think it's medicine, but then you look closer and it is the dark brown of really old, really stale whiskey.
Oh, I just burp.
Even in the dream, you remember the burn. You remember how coarse it is going down. And when you look back, it's not Darcy looking at you. It's Joe. And she looks suspicious. She says, Smuggled what?
We were.
What
they
happened,
were supposed
Richard?
we were. They were supposed to be smuggled. We were told they were just smuggling like goods and traders. We didn't know if they were moving black powder. Who smuggles refugees with black powder? That's insane.
She shakes her head. She looks at you, and I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
You've been visited by the Joe of Judgment.
Ash is looking at Ricky and Richard, just tossing and turning.
You succeed. You suddenly are aware. That's not how this happened. You remember what happened. You see again, Darcy's looking up at you, and she has a sad smile on her face, and she says, well, the guard's gonna come looking.
Yeah.
It's up to you if you're running or turning.
I did enough running after the bang. I'll wait here.
I'll miss you, you old fuck.
Have a good one. And I'll raise the whiskey, what's left of it. It goes, I hope you find more gainful and fulfilling employment.
Doubt it. But that is what you dream about.
Yes, guys.
Ash, with your 18, the campsite is well hidden. You're off the road a short ways. As you're seated there, outside the Brahma, looking, it's dark. But not dark enough that you can't see the road, as the suns are rising soon. You see there is a figure walking along the road. And at first you consider calling out and seeing if they need help. But there is a way this figure moves that raises the hair on the back of your neck. As it walks, you hear the scratching of metal on the dirt road. You hear wheezing, almost like a rattling of breath, as if every breath is this creature's death gasp. But it just keeps moving. You see it is dragging an enormous sword behind it. You recognize the sort of weapons that frost giants carry, but this is a medium-sized man. Or woman, hard to tell. Black armor. A ruined cape hanging from its shoulders. Also black. What do you do?
Well, pupils go full dilated, like kitty saucers.
Yeah.
And he is gonna quietly position himself, get out the scoped firebolt gun that he has, and just kind of like stare at it,
Okay.
make sure it moves along.
Roll investigation.
20.
Through the scope, you catch details. This armor is not black from paint. The armor is black from what looks like dried blood, as you can see hints of shiny steel beneath it. At a distance, though, you wouldn't have told that. Its face is, well, that's not alive, whatever it is. You can see a ruined mouth that just shows teeth on one side. Its teeth grit in determination as it walks. But it doesn't seem to have noticed your Brahma, doesn't seem to have noticed your campsite as it continues past, as it trudges along. This is not the sort of undead you've seen before. This does not look like a follower of the Star Soldier, or captain as you fought before, and it definitely doesn't look like a ghoul or a ghast. It looks like something more.
Is it headed towards Stonefield?
It's following the road, which you don't know. Stonefield, there are a couple turns along the way, so it could be, it could not be.
But it's headed in the general direction of Stonefield.
Yeah, it's heading southeast along the road.
Okay. Ash will, as soon as it's out of earshot, he'll open up a journal and take notes on it, just describing exactly what he saw, even down to like the type of armor it was wearing, how long the sword was, like all the details that he can remember.
Okay. That is the last thing to happen on your watch.
Hyper vigilant for the rest of his watch.
Yeah.
And then when it's time for Richard to take over, I'll gently shake him.
Richard, you've completed a long rest.
Woo, I recover my 1 level of exhaustion.
Just to let you. I hand over the night vision goggles.
I gladly take them.
Just let you
Anything to
know.
report?
Yes, we had a single undead walk by on the road. It's headed in southeast along the route that we're taking, so we may run into it. It has a maybe some heavy armor, but it looks like nothing we've ever fought before. It's got a big giant sword, like a giant's sword, and it's just a regular looking undead. I do not know if it could wield that big thing.
Well, I'd rather not find out, but I'll keep an eye out for anything else, I guess.
All right. I'm going to try to sleep.
Okay. Richard, roll me a d6.
I would love to.
Well, you're awake, so roll it again.
Okay. 2.
Okay. Roll me perception.
Sure thing.
It is a quiet night, quiet watch. You don't see any sign of the single walking undead that Ash reported to you, but you do hear the quiet whimpers and yelps of Aaron within the Brahma, struggling with a nightmare.
I will kind of peek in and just to see if she's like thrashing about or what's going on.
She is clearly struggling with night terrors. Something is terrifying her while she is asleep.
That's fair. Is it I know you said like quiet yelps and things, but is it actually quiet or is she starting to scream?
Not the full-fledged scream of someone hollering for their life, but it is the evidence of someone who is screaming in a nightmare.
Okay. I will. This is gonna get me stabbed. I will gently try to place a hand on her shoulder and see if it either calms her or shakes her awake.
Oh no.
Roll me a general charisma roll. Straight charisma.
Will do.
You feel her whole body tense as you touch her. And then she opens her eyes and she looks up at you.
And I look at her, I'm like, are you okay? You were having one hell of a nightmare from what I can tell.
She hesitates. And then she says, just reliving things.
I've been there.
Sorry.
I will hand her. It's alright. I will hand her a mellow thistle joint, cigarette, whatever they're technically called.
Okay. It's basically a cigar.
Okay.
She looks at it for a long moment as if arguing with herself and then finally accepts it. Thanks.
No problem.
Uh,
Richard will go.
Go ahead.
I didn't know if you were gonna say. I was gonna say Richard will give her a nod, give her a light if she needs it, and then go back and sit up on top of the Brahma and listen to the ringing in his ears.
Yep. She accepts the light with a small smile of gratitude and then curls up with the cigar. She smokes the whole thing. Which that's a lot. That takes a long time.
Yeah, I usually nurse mine for a couple hours.
Yeah. But that is what you rolled, is her nightmare. So, your watch passes without any further incident, and all of you can push the long rest button.
Yay.
Joe had a great night.
Woo!
Don't know about the rest of you.
Joe and Ash both did not have any nightmares.
Jash.
Okay.
I need you to stop giving everyone shipping names with yourself.
I will not be stopped.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Refuse to stop.
Okay. I will pull up the map once more.
I would just note that I assume Ricky is probably the one who wakes up and makes breakfast and stuff. And if that feels right to everyone, that did not happen this morning. Like, I am
There's something wrong with her.
and staying away from folks, and y'all can find your own
Oh.
food.
I don't like this new isolationist Ricky.
Ricky, you've completed a long rest. I need you to roll me a con save.
Oh goodness. I'm sorry I inflicted this STD upon you.
Did you roll ashes too?
Sure did.
Ooh.
Oh, Ricky.
I was gonna
Ricky,
say,
Ricky.
you
If
did
my-
get inspiration.
I say, if I got inspiration at the beginning of
You
this
did,
session,
yes.
okay, I'll go ahead and use that.
Okay. It is not a high DC, but that is not high enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Better.
That
Whew.
succeeds. Your Gorganism does not spread.
How much of Ricky's skin is afflicted?
About a square inch on her upper cheek.
Got a
by her
quarter.
ear.
Literally
Yeah,
like
about a
a
quarter.
coin. Just a little patch. Little psoriasis.
Right where
Oh,
those
I have a-
fingers touched me in the middle of the night.
Yep.
I have a bottle cap I can attempt to stick to my face.
Yeah, like that.
Just like that, yes.
I'm not greasy enough. It won't
Oh
stick.
no.
What a shame.
Not greasy
Yeah.
enough. Keep it
I
that way.
shouldn't have showered this morning. That's what it was.
You didn't
Commit
plan
to the
on
bit.
sticking a cap to your face.
No.
What were you thinking? As you all awaken, loading back up into Razgar's Revenge, you notice breakfast is not prepared. Ricky, what's going through your mind right now?
I think like they're like underneath like Ricky's just kind of dopiness or silliness. There's like a very dark, almost nihilistic aspect, right? That's where the rage would come from, and so I think I'm a lot closer to the rage than I typically am, and kind of that just like everything is meaningless. That gets suppressed a lot through like good food and good smelling herbs and whatnot. So Ricky's just very quiet and much more on edge, I suppose.
Sure.
Richard definitely starts saying something until he catches Ricky's face.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as
Hilariously.
you started, it would be like eyes that you like never expected, like me to even be able, right, to give you that like just shut up look.
I'm
Yeah.
just like, hey Ricky, do we run out of soup ingredients or what? All right, I'll be over here.
Hilariously, Joe is concerned about this change in Ricky. She's grown fond of the other woman in their travels, and like just the endearing attempts at just making soldier life more bearable and more comfortable and more homey just by making food instead of having to rely solely on rations. Unfortunately, Joe is so emotionally constipated that she could never articulately express that in like a real conversation. So instead of saying, Ricky, are you okay? Do you want to talk about this? What comes out of her mouth is, hey Ricky, what the fuck's up with you? What's going on this morning?
I wasn't hungry. You all can make your own food.
I mean, you just normally do it, so I just figured, you know.
I couldn't. I don't know. I couldn't find any good herbs. Just the rations are fine today.
Richard, feeling secondhand embarrassment, will be like, Joe, I found some herbs that go okay with the jerky, the salted jerky they gave us. You come try this. Come make sure this isn't poisonous. As I'm just like trying to coax you away.
If you want the full meal, I can cook. That's fine.
So many solutions all of a sudden.
Zed says something placating.
Richard will just look at Joe and just give you the, what the fuck? She's clearly upset about something.
I know, I was trying to ask her about it.
That's not how you ask about it.
Did it come out that way?
You just looked at her and goes, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, I am wondering what the fuck is wrong with her.
There's a more if I looked at you, you're a bad example.
Oh.
Can I?
If I looked at you and just went, what the fuck's wrong with you?
I would tell you.
I know you would. That's not what Ricky's like.
Can I try to make something gourmet out of what we have?
Like, I'd like to think that our conversation
Joe
is
and
like
Richard
that
are gesticulating, but like
it's like that
quietly.
whisper shouting where we think no one can hear us, but like.
Do you have prestidigitation?
No. I have
Okay.
cook. I'm proficient, and I have cook's utensils.
Then you can certainly roll for it.
I would
But
love
it's a
to.
wisdom-based roll.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give me a wisdom check with proficiency as you try to cook something.
All right. I will do my insight.
It's like the shit out of that food.
It's passable.
It's not burnt.
It's average.
It is cooked.
It's average.
It is cooked enough that it tastes fine.
Okay.
You have fantasy Gordon Ramsay just scoffs at it and says, "It's raw," and you know these sorts of things.
Raw.
No, it's fine. You make food.
Well,
It's like me when it's my turn to cook dinner in real life.
I did my best, but we're out in the field, so enjoy.
Joe begrudgingly eats her portion and just kind of watches Ricky the whole time, and in like such a way that she thinks it's like a meaningful concern. It's just like a glare.
It's like it's like the breakfast you get at a Subway. It's like one of those wraps, but the bacon's a little cold.
But, so like
how is
Joe,
the-
is it like awkwardly staring? Is it like
Probably.
that much? Okay, so if I catch your eye like the third time, if the food's as bad as you're saying, Ash, I think like Ricky will just kind of like pound, like overly angry, or like pound her fists on the table, so her like tray or whatever flips over and just get up and walk off. Like the third time I catch Joe staring at me.
And Joe looks at Richard and she's like, "What do you think's going on with her?"
I don't know.
As
There's
Aaron-
some woman grilling her while she's trying to eat and clearly going through something.
It's because she's not grilling. It's the problem.
As Erin, the rogue halfling that's with you, like, is eating her own food. She just kind of looks up at you, Joe, and she says, "You really suck at this, you know."
Fucking what?
Richard just points at Aaron and is like, that!
Suck at what?
People.
I asked her how she was.
No, you didn't.
I'm looking at her
You
because
did
I
not.
know she'd do much better than Ash if she had cooked.
That really hurts my feelings. I tried my best.
You did it, and it's
You
subpar,
did
but it's
try your
passable.
best.
And he's
I'm
saying
gonna-
he's got
I'm
like
gonna
a
have
like
to agree with Joe on this one.
he's got like like a bandana wrap, like he's got his hair.
That's not gonna
out.
keep the fur out of it.
And
It's the problem, Ash.
Okay,
Erin, like,
how about this?
pulls a hair out of
Let's give you a dose of your own medicine. What the fuck is wrong with you this morning?
There's nothing wrong with me. I was expressing concern for my teammate. Like there was like the foof of a friend, and it turned into teammate.
Uh-huh.
That was very bitchy concern.
It was.
Oh,
It seemed a little demeaning.
all sound like
I
my
thi-
dad. Let's just pack up and let's go.
You and I both, and he's waving like a spatula.
Just like threatening.
You and I both need to learn how to speak better, because I don't do
Like
the
I
a
don't
same.
under-
understand. My communication style is very straightforward. I don't understand how there could be any misinterpretation.
Okay, I think when she has calmed a little, I think you just need to go to Ricky and just say, "Hey, whatever I said didn't come off the way I meant it. I'm sorry. I want
My
you
one
to know
question
that
is-
it's
What am I sorry about?
Sounded like a bitch.
you don't need to know. You just upset her.
I think the
I asked
concern
how
is
she was. Is that
Listen,
wrong
you-
of me? Like fuck
It's
me
not-
for caring?
the concern is well placed, but the delivery is lacking.
It's not what you said. It's how
It-
you said it.
It's like when I tell a really bad joke and it doesn't
Every
come
single
across.
joke of you.
That's exactly what happened this morning when you said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
I don't get it. I feel like we're wasting time.
That's
Why don't you go
fine.
get Miss Pissy Bridges while we pack up the rest of the Brahma and we're gonna get going.
Okay. I think with Zed not being here, I have the highest charisma at 14.
Yep.
So I'm gonna head
Zed
over.
agrees with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna head over to Ricky and just be like, "Hey, I'm sorry about pretty much just everything this morning.
Ricky's gonna stop you. Ricky doesn't need too much emotion. All right, I'll just kind of look at you and say it's her. I really didn't sleep well last night.
Me too.
I don't know how you slept. Yeah, I
It's
think you
not.
just need to keep going.
It's been a rough couple of days, but for what it's worth, I think Joe actually cares and is worried and is just what I'm gonna say is
Not
absolute
good with the
horseshit at expressing it.
Yeah. Not good. Yeah. I know that. I'll cook her up something nice. Just I don't think I can do it today.
Ricky ends up being the one who apologized to Joe.
Yeah. He's just like, I mean, if you wanted to slip maybe some those wild berries that do things to your digestive tract into Joe's, I'm sure it'd be a little funny, but you do you.
I'm gonna like really straight and be like, and like this will be the biggest word you've ever heard me say. Demean my cooking? No, I could never do that.
You know, you're a woman of principles, and I respect that a lot.
I just pick up like the heaviest thing I can find and just like shove it, like
The
chuck it at
audacity
Kama.
of that suggestion.
Uh,
Okay. As you begin to gather up all your equipment, loading up the Brahma and getting yourselves moving after finally recovering from the atrocious day that was yesterday. The Brahma gets moving. All of you are retaking your usual positions. I need someone to roll me a d100, please.
Got it.
As we take our seats and positions on the Brahma. I haven't told you this morning, but something happened on my watch. A passerby, an undead. It has a big giant sword that it's dragging behind it, and it has heavy armor. Never seen it before, but it was headed in the direction that we were. So just be on the lookout for...
Thanks for updating us in the whole 45 minutes it took us to eat, Ash.
I was cooking.
Right. 'cause
Ash
you
is gonna
can't
hit somebody
talk.
with a wooden spoon.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out for a singular undead with a sword it can't wield. I'm real scared.
Ash slams on the gas.
Joe's on a roll today.
With the enhanced power that the Brahma has,
Oh shit.
I need everyone who's hanging on to the outside of the Brahma to roll me a dex save.
Ricky and Zed.
Actually, no, this would be a strength saving throw, so I'll roll it for Zed.
We're just gonna hear. Zed bounces off the floor.
Oh, he's
Damn,
got-
Rick.
Okay. The DC is
I'm
13.
having a bad day.
So, Ricky, you're
This is
caught.
not gonna help.
Oh, I don't think. He's got a 7 strength. Yeah.
You just
Ricky
dump
and
our
Zed
clingers.
both, as soon as the Brahma just lurches forward, it surges forward, and Zed and Ricky both just, your hands, whoop, and just slip off of the bars, and you find yourself like stumbling off the back of it, landing flat on your back as the Brahma takes off.
What the hell, Ash?
I was gonna. Do we hear that, or would we just keep going?
I need everyone inside the Brahma except for Ash to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Give us all concussions. You really need to not let your emotions get the better of you, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, everyone
us.
inside is fine. But
Is
Joe...
Aaron okay?
Oh shit! Hold on.
Oh no.
Concuss the halfling.
She rolls a natural 20. She's fine. She like grabs onto the gunner's seat, and you just hear, "What the fuck?"
I concur. What the fuck?
Okay, sorry. He slows it to a halt. Gently.
Get back
Zed
on.
like stands up and brushes himself off and says something irritated.
Joe mutters under her breath, Ceris's finest.
I'm
I'll
just
fucking
gonna.
say.
I'm just gonna get some air. I just like pop my hatch and just kind of like sit like torso up,
You can
hanging out of the
actually-
hatch.
You can actually see really well from out here. You actually
Yeah.
can see all the way down the road forward and all the way down the road backward. You see Ricky and Zed standing up as they head back toward the Brahma. Roll me a perception check.
Uh-oh.
Oh god.
Ooh, good
19.
roll.
Richard, as you turn around and you're looking at Ricky and Zed heading toward the Brahma, you look past them up along the road back towards the obelisk. Beyond that, you see the road stretches. In the middle of the road, it's a long ways away. You see a humanoid shape that seems to be carrying an extremely large sword.
Coming
Moving-
from behind us.
Yeah.
Another one?
Ash, I think I found your sword, bro.
Okay.
I turn the
he's-
scope on it, since I'm the spotter.
Yeah, you can turn it around and look.
I do that.
I'm gesturing to
You
Zed.
see a humanoid figure wearing heavy armor. It's wearing a cape. It looks like it's wearing black armor, and it is dragging an enormous sword.
Is it in the direction we came from, or is
Yes.
it the direction... So,
It's behind you.
if we're putting all these pieces together, there's two of them at least?
There's another. Okay. Can I take a peek? I took some. Oh, here. Actually,
yeah,
take my
get
notes.
off me, just look.
No, I haven't even approached you.
Get off me.
You're literally sitting next to each other.
Oh God, too close.
Here's my notes.
Fine,
Your
fuck.
lips raises it up to her. Does it look the same?
Yeah.
Even down to the facial features.
Compare.
It's
Roll
got
me
a helmet
investigation.
on.
It doesn't.
No. You said it was in full armor, and I'm just like, it's
Yes,
got a
I
helmet
realize
on.
you'd assume it has a helmet on. It does not.
15.
15. It looks like it matches the nose, with the half mouth split open as well.
Okay, yeah, you got the guy right, but you got his direction wrong because he's back behind us.
No, I don't get that wrong.
Well, it's the same guy then.
Then it must have circled around somewhere.
That's great. Why don't we everybody get back on the Brahma and we'll brace ourselves? And you know how you punched that gas before? Maybe do it again.
Are we going to avoid it or are we going to take care of it?
I don't know. It's eerie.
It's
I mean,
a
what are we
long
supposed to
ways
make of
away.
this? What are we supposed to make of this?
Okay.
How about we
Well,
radio
at least radio it in. Let's do that.
Maybe command or somebody else in the field has reported a similar sighting.
Richard, as you reach down to grab the radio, you glance up. It's gone.
I hate this.
Oh, that's not spooky at all. Guys,
Okay.
it disappeared.
Can Joe
Okay,
look?
we're
Does she see
getting
it
out of
anymore?
here.
Yeah, you when you turn to talk to him, you moved the scope slightly, and you look back down and you move it back, and you can't find him on it.
I hate this. Ash, start driving. Richard, radio.
All right. I won't
Gently.
step on the gas, but I'll just
Slowly
Move up to-
accelerate up.
You'll ease
Slowly,
into full
sir.
speed. Okay,
ease into full speed. Yeah.
sure. The Brahma moves quickly now. As it begins to haul forward, the land sliding around. Ricky, despite the tension, it is actually pretty nice. Just the world coasting by, and you don't have to put any effort into it. What do you radio in, Richard? I
Command.
have to be
this-
careful with my Ricks and Richards.
Yeah, I messed it up before too. I definitely called Ricky AJ like twice last session.
Me too.
Command, this is Rasgar's Revenge. Have you gotten any reports of what I'm gonna describe as an armored guy with a big ass sword,
I'm
kind
dead.
of ominously walking down the road? Over.
Affirmative, Rasgar's Revenge. Are you sure you're not just seeing a ghost? Over.
I mean, I've
Did he
seen
look
some ghosts
corporeal?
before.
Did he look solid?
Looked
He
very
didn't
solid.
have that trans. He's some kind of zombie.
The
I-
dirt was being disturbed by the sword, which is not something that happens with ghosts.
Yeah. We've fought some ghosts, Command, and this thing seemed undead but pretty solid. Over.
We've had reports of soldiers of the followers of the star that are nearing that description. Is this not what you're referring to? Over.
Well, it was
Birch-sized guy, giant
behind us,
sword.
maybe about like 2-3 miles? Question mark. Echo.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
all the way down the road. It's a ways.
It was behind us like 2-3 miles, and then we looked back or looked away and looked back, and it had disappeared in under a second. Over.
Did y'all's rations expire? Over.
No. Over.
Then perhaps we're going to need a bigger sample size. If you happen to come across this creature again, please
Happened
call
twice.
it in. Over.
Ash saw it last night. It happened
we-
twice.
We had also seen it last night as well. Over.
But ahead
and it
of
had
us.
Walked past where we were, and now it is behind us once again. Over.
One moment, Rasgar's Revenge. I am consultant. Over.
It's just like, what the fuck are they on?
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta roll.
Are we
It's the radio operator. He doesn't know.
Are
shit.
we
His job is
sure
to
that
find
it's
someone who
in-
does?
Are we sure that it's in heavy armor? Is it bare-chested with a pyramid-like thing on its head?
No, fuck you.
It's not Pyramid Head.
Damn.
Please, it's a Dark
No,
Souls
Let
this
me
is
boss.
also
good thing.
say,
I'm glad it's
you
not
don't
Pyramid
want
Head.
it to be Pyramid Head.
No, we don't.
I will skin you with one hand.
Ew, yikes. Have you heard of degloving?
Yes.
There is a moment that passes as you are driving, the Brahma cruising along, and suddenly you hear, Razgar's Revenge, come in.
Yeah, this is Rasgar's Revenge, over.
We have a few instances of similar reports over the last, but the last one wasn't for 200 years, so the comments might be a little off. One moment, consoling one more time, over.
200 years?
Guys, I think we have a 200-year crazy undead, some sort of dark soul that seems like a boss.
It seems like a Dark Souls boss. Yes, you're suddenly playing Elden Ring.
If we start driving into mysterious mists, I'm gonna be freaking out now.
Rash, if you see a mist wall, I need you to turn 180 degrees and drive the other way.
No, clear day. No sign of a boss wall in front of you. It takes a few more minutes, and as you're driving, you can't help but feel anxious. There's no sign of the figure on the horizon, though.
Joe is on a swivel looking for that bitch, though.
Okay, so while Richard, you're kind of out with your head out looking out, you see the scope just all the way around the circumference of the hatch on top of the Brahma.
As it comes by, I start just like making looking around and making a different face each time it comes by. I'm just like
You're just weirdly magnified.
I need to you earn a point of inspiration for that. That's amazing. Okay. Fuck. What was I narrating? Okay, so again, the radio chirps. Razgar's Revenge, are you still there? Over.
we are cruising our way towards Stonefield, but we are still here. Over.
There are a few situations that could be occurring right now. The first one, and the one that is the most likely, is the sighting of a revenant. If you're aware of what that is, it's an undead creature that, well, the reports say they can't die until they've completed a task. But they are known to have magical capabilities, and one could be casting invisibility on itself. Over.
Cool. Let me report that to the squad. They think it might be a revenant.
Does any of us know what that is?
Die.
Roll Arcana or Religion.
I am trained in
Damn it.
neither of those.
Damn, that was almost a nat 20.
13.
Yeah, it went to a far less impressive 13 to me.
With
We're
a
all just like,
13,
I don't know.
the best being a 13, yeah, you don't really know. It's.
Are
you
they
don't even-
dangerous?
You would. Do you ask that over the radio?
Yeah, she's asking Richard that to ask them.
I'm pretty sure it is, but I'll check, I guess. Command, how dangerous is it?
That depends on what its assigned task is. If you happen to have anything to do with it, yes. If not, no. They're very single-minded in their motivations. Over.
Got it. Over.
So I'll let you hear that. There's another moment's pause, and then there are a few other, unsavory situations that you might be dealing with. If it is a ghost, as I suggested, it is a soul white. If you've heard of them.
No.
I've heard of whites. Over.
A soul white is a white that has possessed the body of a person. They gain some unique magical powers, including invisibility, also strength of unique prowess, so that would explain the large weapon you described. Over.
How fast are they?
Well, they are manipulating the body of a fallen person, so typically not very. Over.
Alright, so they couldn't outrun a Brahma.
Most things cannot outrun a Brahma. Over. Oh, sorry, there's one other thing that command has passed on. It could, and for your sake I hope it is not, but it could be a Death Knight.
Cool.
Elaborate.
How common is, like, knowledge and fear of Death Knights?
Death Knights, so
The
this...
name itself expresses
There's
fear.
lots of stories about Death Knights. Everyone's afraid of them, but they're super rare. So, let's get an Arcana check from everybody that wants to try and figure out what they actually know. And those who fail, you know what the stories tell you.
I rolled a 16.
20.
Ash did better than me.
Okay. So a Death Knight, Ash, is a very dangerous individual. They are granted unholy magic, as they've basically sworn their souls away in exchange for it. And they are extremely heavily armored and kind of can drain energy from other creatures. They are very evil, and they are undead, typically. They don't have to be, though. That's the unusual part, is a Death Knight does not have to be undead to be one. They usually are, however. With a 16 or lower, Death Knights massacre platoons. Death Knights are the bane of soldiers everywhere. They can cleave through entire Brahmas with their swords. They
Yeesh.
are monstrous creatures that are extremely rare, but if they appear, if you are so cursed to face one,
You are
doomed.
fucked. Okay. Let's just keep going and not find out,
I'll
shall
be
we?
like, Ash, we're going to top speed, right?
Yes, we are. It's very dangerous if
Alright.
it is a Death Knight, and I don't want to fight one.
I concur.
Can we mark it on the map and maybe give command the coordinates? Make
Yeah,
sure
why
that
not?
nobody else comes across this thing.
Joe and Richard will cross-reference coordinates so that command will know where the setting was.
We appreciate it,
we could-
Rasgar's Revenge. What is your status on the approach to Stonefield? How far out are you now?
About the week, maybe?
How
No.
far are we?
Well, based on where you saw this creature, you're actually a little bit past this. So you're maybe 5 days.
Yeah, we're about 5 days out, Command.
Acknowledged. Once you arrive, if you still have sightings of this entity, please bring that to the sergeant's awareness once you reach the gates. Over.
Will do. Over and out.
Can we mark along the road another point?
Yeah, we can do that. We can make a little marker where you saw the spooky thing.
Big sword dude.
Death
that-
Knight? Question mark.
Is that where is that the name I'm putting on this thing? Is Big Sword Dude?
This is my map.
Yeah, I was gonna say Joe's the one making the map.
Exactly.
This is literally my map we're looking at. As Joe writes it down, she writes big sword guy.
Guy, okay.
Yeah, I changed it. I decided guy was classier.
I mean, if you saw it last night patrolling the same area, if I was a betting man, I would say it's a revenant who has something to do with protecting a certain part of the road.
Maybe.
But,
Don't know enough.
I
From beneath
also
you, you
want to-
hear, are you a betting man?
yeah, usually. But I also don't want to fuck with it if it's a Death Knight.
You
got
know.
2
I'm
golds
off
is worse
chance.
as it could be, because that's how this fucking day's been.
You know, I'm inclined to believe you.
You know.
I haven't received
could-
magical healing, so I still definitely look burnt to hell from whatever happened.
It's a
I
little
know we're
crispy.
getting all
Some
our
of the skin's
I
flaking
know
off.
we're getting all our information from command, but what do you say we ask Regal what she knows?
Oh yeah, your BFF.
As
Go
long
for it.
I'm
I'll
not
just
familiar with this acronym.
That's
Don't-
fine as long as Ash.
don't worry about the acronym. Do you have any idea what that thing was?
I cannot see it and couldn't before, so
Fair.
Was it too far last night?
yes. It has to be within maybe 30 feet for me to actually see it and 100 feet for me to detect it, and it was not.
Well, if you do, let us know. That'd be great.
All right.
Cool beans.
You have such strange anachronistic sayings.
You're
It's
the
been
one
a
who's
couple thousand years.
anachronistic.
Slang's gotta change.
Yeah, I'm the one speaking normal.
I'm mostly normal.
And how we talking black powder? She stares at him.
All right. I'm gonna go take a peek and see
I-
if it's still behind us.
suspect one with the nature of such lack of subtlety would be slain in the court of, well, Tesh.
Too bad bitch is dead, isn't it?
I doubt she's dead.
She's not here.
That much I concur.
Glad we're on the same page.
What are you checking, Richard?
Richard's avoiding my accusation.
I'm just opening the hatch and just sticking my head out and be like, I'm just gonna see if it's still out there.
Oh,
I'll just like pop my head out and just look at like
random direction.
Ricky and Zeb just like exasperated, just like.
Joe
We
does
can
have
hear
that
the
effect on
conversation, right?
100%.
His hatch has
Yeah.
been open the whole
Yeah.
time.
You hear all
Yeah,
this.
so I'll just look right at Richard and I'll be like, beans should always be warm. At least.
You should not eat cool beans.
Richard will look at you and just go, "Yep," and then just turn to Zeb, just like.
There's no safe place here.
Zed seems understanding and says something sympathetic, yet oddly cool at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
He's so fucking cool.
You're nailing these impressions, Echo.
Thank you. I'm really trying. All right. I need a D100 roll for your progress. Let's see how you do.
Got it.
Somebody. I don't care who.
I thought you said got it.
Oh,
She
no.
said not it.
Oh.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I got it.
Ricky's got it.
Ooh, 15.
15. Roll me a D4.
Uno.
Over the
Full
next
and low today.
over the next day, it seems as though your progress is unimpeded. You don't catch a sight of much movement out here in the fields, which kind of makes sense as you are getting past the crossroads and farther out over the plains of the Gully March. You are seeing that aside from the road that you're on, everything's extremely rocky. Stones are sharp and broken, and there are signs of battles that have happened out here, and you do catch sight of wandering undead, but they're not near the road. They're not approaching the road. It appears as though many of them are just standing there, being undead without a name. It looks as though maybe whoever was commanding them was slain, or maybe something that was important was destroyed that controlled them.
We're the best guys.
Okay.
Joe pats herself on the back. It's no Dale's will.
Somebody's got to.
Eh.
That being said, a day's travel passes without incident, so I need another D100.
Okay, now I got it.
Okay.
Oh.
Was waiting for it to
now
feel
you-
right. 48.
48. Roll me a D6.
4.
Hold on. Three more days pass on the road. It's almost boring. just trying to constantly be vigilant. Riding the Brahma, eating, talking. Riding the Brahma, eating, talking. After 3 more days, it is later in the afternoon. Richard, you happen to be looking out the hatch. You glance over your shoulder. Again, you see, a couple miles back, a black armored entity dragging an enormous sword.
Creepy sword guy's back.
Is this the first sighting since we initially saw him?
Yes.
Where are we on the map?
So, it's been 4 days at this point.
So we're probably like
You're nearly there. You're here.
Yeah. All right.
it. Gotta let command know.
One thing I do want to get possibly done within these 4 days is the kind of leather neck that covers the gray spot.
Oh, thank you.
Or
Not that I
Ricky.
hate Ricky, but she's got to roll 4 of those.
Yeah, Ricky, I need 4 Constitution saves. Success for the first day. Second one.
That counts as 2 days, right?
No, it doesn't. Okay, a failure on the second one.
You could use my inspiration, Ricky. So I like you, not a statue.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
You can use my dumb face
A
inspiration.
A success for the second day.
2
You
more?
have 2 more. Which I would say the second day is when you complete the leather cover. The DC was 12. You succeed.
Oh.
Second day is where I complete the leather neck
Yeah.
brace
It's
cover.
basically a gorget that just covers your cheek.
Yeah.
You look a badass.
So you have 1 more. 1 more to roll.
You can do it.
The Gorgonism seems relatively controlled. However, over 4 days, you do notice it still grows a little bit. It expands from maybe an inch to maybe the size of a $50. And it feels a little tingly sometimes, like you almost have to scratch it, but you stop yourself.
That's what the dog collar is for, the cone of shame.
Yeah. I'll Ash will give you some cream to put on the inside of the leather courgette, just to help you feel comfortable.
And I think when you give it to, because you're gonna give it to me on the second day, like second or third day, right? Yeah. So when you've done that, I've had a few days to cool off. I'll kind of almost get a tear in my eye and just say, thank you. I know I was really mean to you about your cooking, and it wasn't very good. But maybe if you want, I can help. I can show you next time. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No. Tensions were high. It was a stressful day, and we were just coming down from it. So, no
Yeah,
apologies necessary.
But no one needed to take it to cooking, so we didn't need to
It's
go
too
that low.
far.
I'm sorry.
What you did to that food was criminal.
Usually I cook a lot better, but
Yeah,
Uh,
you told me about all the delicious food that your family makes from where you're from. It sounds really good.
When they make it.
maybe one day we'll find some leave in Silver's Reach, and you all can come over for a family dinner.
I would love that. And Ricky, I'll just put the thing on and whatnot.
Are all the chairs really close to the floor?
Yes. I had to think about it for he wanted to say
Are
no.
they all small?
he wanted to say no, but yes.
Oh,
They're
charming.
we have the ceilings are vaulted, meaning 7 feet. So
Yeah, that would be something. Little dinner with
We'll
the Kit
bring a
Kat.
chair.
Sit on the floor, I guess. Fine. I'm good at this.
yeah, you'd have to sit crisscross applesauce.
Uh-huh. Joe says as she marks on the map big sword guy. 2.
Part 2.
Okay.
Part 2, the sequel. Oh shit, yeah, Richard, radio in the coordinates for the
Yeah,
sky
I
again.
was waiting for the food sass
Sorry.
to end.
Food Sass would be a great band name.
The that would be. I have my buddy's got a list of like all the band names that we've randomly said. It's like at this
I
point
do
like
too.
80 or 90 because it's been going for like 7-8 years.
When we see it again, Ash, in his mind, just kind of like reaches out. Regal, can you hear me?
Yes,
Uh,
I can hear all of you.
he's trying to be like quiet about it.
Right.
Sneaky.
She is aware. She's saying that she
Oh.
can hear your thoughts.
Oh,
It's not like we're all suddenly telepathic.
right. Can you, if I describe this thing to you, can you tell me what it is, or
I
maybe?
can certainly try. It's not the same as seeing the animus that controls it or created it, if there is one. But I can try.
All right, I describe it, every detail to Regal.
Roll me a... Roll me a persuasion check at advantage. Because you made
Okay.
notes on it.
So good. -2 to this. All
Wow.
right, 14.
14.
Terrible.
She tries to work with what you tell her. You've described a creature that is wearing armor and dragging a sword and is undead. Without
Yes,
seeing
but-
its true nature for myself, I can't be sure. I have many guesses. They range anywhere from an undead warlock to a sorcerer that's gained some unique relics to, as you were worried before, it could be a Death Knight, it could be a Soul White, it could be many things.
All right,
It could be
I
relevant.
appreciate you giving me insight to this.
You are welcome, though I understand we will be parting ways soon.
That's possible.
You would betray orders?
You saved the man's life that I care about. So that's... You've proven yourself to me. At least a little bit.
I see.
I may say something to command when we get to Stonefield. But as you can tell, I'm not very good at talking.
Yes.
Maybe logic will see your usefulness.
Your decisions are yours to make.
And then I'll just be silent.
Okay. Do you continue on?
Command, this is Razgar's revenge.
Copy that, Razgar's Revenge. Over. How can I help you?
I don't know if you want to check the records, but that spooky sword thing we saw a couple days ago still following us about 2-3 miles back. When we're about a day away from Stonefield.
Copy that, Rascar's Revenge. You're sure it's the same one? Over.
Hold on, let me check. I take the consensus of the group that it looks almost exactly the same.
I mean, Joe would try to get a match on her ID. Shit. Well, I'm actually not that bad at that. I rolled really well. 22.
It looks identical.
It's the same fucker.
As far as we can tell, it looks exactly the same. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's the same one.
Acknowledged. Proceed on to Stonefield with haste. Once you get within the range of the wall guns, we'll deal with it if we see it. Over.
Will do. Over and out.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Might just piss it off. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
Wall guns sound nice.
I mean, yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be dropped off.
I concur with the wall gun idea.
I'm talking about shooting it. You know, if this bitch can teleport, like I think it can, it could have taken us out already.
And what's it doing?
Good question. Maybe it wants to talk. But then again, it could just come up to us if it wanted to. Yeah.
Agreed. Okay.
I just don't know if shooting it's the right play. Nobody has any strong opinions?
I mean, I'm a big fan of blowing it to Kingdom Come, especially if we're not the ones who have to directly deal with it. I feel like we have directly dealt with a lot of things recently.
It does seem like we were handed a whole bunch of other people's tasks that they either refused to do or failed to do.
Zed says something indignant.
Yeah, like your group. Zed, thank you for your backing up.
It's a good point, Zed.
He defends himself appropriately.
Yeah, well, that's beside the point, Zed. Your group did fail, and we did have to pick up your slack, so...
Alright, can we maybe not
Zed begrudgingly agrees.
harass a man who lost his entire squad?
Yeah, okay. Fine. We'll go roll into Stonefield and let somebody, above our pay grade deal with it. I just want it on the record that I thought maybe we could have a conversation.
I think a Death Knight, it really is above our pay grade, so...
I don't think it's a Death Knight.
Well, I'm assuming the worst.
Sure, but we've heard stories of those things. They, shatter platoons and cut Brahmas in half. What the fuck would it be doing just loping on after us for 4 days?
I
Think
don't
it has
know,
something better to do?
Maybe it's because we destroyed the big-ass obelisk that was making these things and controlling these things.
You think it's without control?
I think maybe the theory is that the followers of the star are onto our shit and want to see something done about it.
Or want Regal.
Or that.
It's a thought.
That's a possibility. I don't know. I'm
Guess
just
we'll find
prepared
out.
for the worst.
Fine.
So do you
We keep
proceed?
going.
Okay. As you keep moving, you look once more and the entity is gone.
Get spooky.
Trying to read your background, but it's backwards.
Oh, is it? God damn it. I flipped it because it was backwards on my screen. But hold on, I can
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Or so help me. Oh.
There we go. Hold on. I gotta swing myself this way.
There we
That was
go.
when we were talking about Regal. When
What's it-
Ash was saying
Yes.
that, like, oh, we might not give you back.
Once again, I revert to the GIF.
We keep it
But it's
going.
alright. I still have this one ready for combat.
+1.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay. I need one more roll.
I just did the last one.
I need one more D100. It all weighs on this one.
I can't wait to get another disease.
Okay. Now,
I'm the one who rules
It's-
diseases.
as you are continuing to ride, this is what you see cresting the nearest hill.
Oh god.
Ooh.
The town of Stonefield. Nearing the
See, there are a
forest
lot
and the
of
high
stones.
valleys. Yes, there are. That's as the Brahma makes its way down the road, heading towards Stonefield, your objective is in sight. What is not shown in the art is the other platoons that are here. You see at least 2 other Brahma on the horizon that are near the walls of Stonefield. You see a number of other infantry, other soldiers just like you that are either heading into or leaving the militant city of Stonefield. And as you're approaching, suddenly you can't help but feel this feeling of accomplishing something. Every time you're sent out on a task and you get towards the end of it, especially in times like now, where most of you are intact. Most. It's a good feeling. A
Feels
feeling
great,
that-
honestly.
a feeling that is often followed up with a reward of sorts as you drive your way on down towards Stonefield. All right.
I'd like to think as we approach, like all the hatches are open, we have our heads sticking out
Oh yeah, we're
in the
all.
wind.
As you have the hatches open, you hear gunfire. You hear cannon fire and guns dealing with undead in the area. But they're all coming from the far east or far west in reference to your Brahma. Ahead of you, for the first time in a while, looks like someplace safe. You hear the shouts of people that are not under attack, the raucous, very Serisian nature of people having a good time despite the tensions that they've just dodged the day before. It is a relief on all hands. As you make your way up towards Stonefield, you're driving up towards the front gate. A number of soldiers are out by that front gate, and I'm going to pull up the map of Stonefield so you can see where you are. According to this map, you are approaching from the northerly road. One moment while it loads.
As we're pulling up, I'm like, pretty sure Joe said she got the first round, right? Everybody remember that?
What? When the fuck did I say that?
I did hear that. I have a good memory too.
I don't remember this. Doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, Ash has a big grin on his face.
As the Brahma's pulling up, one of the soldiers that's wearing what looks like the decorations of a sergeant pulls up and says, "Well, it's about fucking time we seen all y'all." I'm just kidding. Welcome to Stonefield. Safe voyage.
Pleasure to be here.
Is there a particular salute that the Serisian Royal Guard do?
Yeah, they put the hand over their fist over their heart.
Do the same thing, Sergeant.
Yeah. Pleasure
What?
to be here.
He kind of glances at the Brahma and says, "Razgar's revenge, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear it.
Me too.
You're safe now. You're due to report at the Stone Bastion. go ahead and drop off your Brahma, and then I believe there is some talk with the corporal, and then y'all are due some R&R, as well as your pay.
Hey.
All right.
I'm down for that.
Oh my god, shore leave, guys.
And then Aaron says, when can I get out?
Oh, we found a civilian.
All right, let him debrief at the Stone Bastion as well. And then they're free to go. Unless they ought not to be.
Nope. Clean record
No.
on this one.
As
One of the few survivors of hold on the city names in my notes. Ooh.
I
Who's
don't
number
remember
4?
either. Shit.
I don't remember what set. Bright Hill.
no, that's where
One
you,
of the few.
that's where you came
That's
from.
Nope, we came from Bright Hill. Damn it.
Duskinvale. Duskinvale.
Duskinvale. Yep, I
Duskinvale.
got there.
I'm very proud of
That
you.
was
Ricky,
session
you
5. I was
goddamn
looking at
genius.
session
Definitely, Ricky had no idea. That was just spoken from the.
Somebody took notes, thank God.
As the sergeant nods and says, well done. Maybe a little bonus in it for you then. And he kind of thumps the side of the Brahma and says, on you go. And as you begin to pull into the gates of Stonefield, you all hear Aaron just quietly say, thank you.
Hey, you might not
Thank
have fought
you,
with
you
us,
little
but you at least
bonus.
went through hell with us.
One of you is much nicer than the other, and I appreciate it.
Expressing my gratitude for the increase in pay we're gonna get.
Hey, it couldn't be Cho, could it? Oh, no.
No, I figured she meant me. She was looking right at me. I'm not good at express. It doesn't matter. She sits back in her seat.
Speaking,
I think-
unrelated, but looking at my notes, we have an adamantine breastplate that we found.
Yeah. No one's using it. It's just sitting there.
I believe
Yeah.
Zed is using it.
It's
He
medium
should
armor.
be.
I thought Zed put it on, yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
Zed
it's,
put it on.
Let's see if it's under the inventory.
yeah. Well, it's 14 plus dex, and while wearing it, any critical hit against you becomes a normal hit.
Yep, that's what adamantine do.
Yes, Zed is wearing it. You should remove
Okay.
it from your inventory.
It's not on my inventory. It's just in the notes of just like this is what we found
yeah,
during
he
this
is wearing
encounter.
it. That's why his fucking armor class is 18.
Yeah, because I also have in there. There's a second amaranth pepper box if anybody wants a pistol, which I believe I have right now.
I mean, I wouldn't be sad about having an extra gun in case mine.
Yeah, in case you jam it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
have
I'll-
that.
You can take that.
Thanks.
So,
Aaron,
yeah.
I think collectively we're glad we saved you.
Collectively, I appreciate it. I am going to take what coin I have. I'm going to get myself some fucking food. And I am going to sit in a bath for at least a day.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
After you get debriefed, you might get some free food out of it.
Really?
Possible.
Depends how many military cutbacks have been happening
And
since
if
we've been
not-
on the road.
I'll buy you a meal.
You're a good cat.
Thank you.
As the Brahma continues forward.
Rich looks to Joe when she calls him a good cat. Is like, is that racist? What? Why am I asking you?
That's
He pops his head out. Hey, Ricky. What?
Zed affirms that is indeed racist.
Oh, okay. It's not racist.
Okay. You pull your way through Stonefield, heading toward the Stone Bastion, which is a massive, what once was a temple. It is not anymore. An entire wall has been taken out to be turned into an enormous workshop, where you see there are a few other Brahma that have pulled in, as well as a number of soldiers. And as you are looking around, you see a lot of people are basically like waving at you and jeering at the fresh meat that's just pulled through.
You fresh meat.
But you pull in. The Brahma is basically
Give him
guided up.
the princess wave from the gunner hatch.
You get a lot of these, which is,
I give him a wink and a finger gun.
It is the general soldierly welcome to other soldiers. You see there are a number of civilians out on the streets as well. They look upon you, some with anxiety and some with relief. More soldiers in the walls, safer the town will be. But I remind you, Razgar's Revenge has taken a bit of a beating. And there's lots of blood all over it. There were undead.
Some of it's even the enemies.
Yeah, undead were piled on it as you were climbing in and out of it. And it hasn't really rained, so keeping it
smells
clean
lovely.
It's pretty gross. As you pull
I'm sure
it
we
through,
all smell lovely after being cooped up in the Brahma.
Yeah. You see there is a tower of a half-orc approaching as you pull this Brahma up into the bay to be worked
Ash drifted into the parking spot.
It earth
No.
cracks. It's not.
It literally drifts on default.
Running in the 90s starts playing.
Razgar's Revenge. I like it. Go ahead and pull on up. And this half-orc that you see is wearing the corporal's markings is waving for you to pull up to a certain spot.
Ash will ease into the bay or spot that is designated for it.
Right. Perfect. It's looking better than it left.
A little bit. We were able to find some. What do they call them? What are the blue stones again?
The power
Banasite
cells, right?
batteries.
Or the Banasite.
Banasite. We found some extra Banasites. We have a cracked one, but if we can, if you all can spare an extra one, we'd have a full set.
I'm sure we can do that along with the regular maintenance. Looks like you have some minor damage to your gun. The stone slab's looking a little cracked, but you made it here safe and sound. That'll do. And he,
all right.
He pulls out he's got like a large slate with parchment on. He says, "Right, I need a debrief. We heard a lot of shit from you guys over the radio, and I need you to break it down for me from the top." You don't have to say. You don't have to actually break it down. You can just.
Oh, thank God.
we let Zed talk about his half, like his crew first, since he joined us.
Okay.
And then
Zed does so eloquently.
I don't know. Collectively, we tell him what happened.
Right.
Richard, put Ash down.
She's purring like crazy. I don't know if the mic picked it up.
No, but she's very cute. Yeah, we say what happened.
As this half-orc corporal is taking your brief, you see a tall, black-haired human man approaches next to him and quietly says something to him. And then he's like pulling on gloves. And the human says, "It has come to our attention. You all have acquired an artifact that requires careful handling.
Oh, you mean Regal?
If that is what they call themselves as a sentient item, sure, Regal. If you wouldn't mind handing the crown over."
Joe is watching Ash very closely.
Is Regal saying or complaining about anything? As I guess Richard will go to grab her.
If Richard goes to grab Regal, Regal would say, "Perhaps wait a moment. I believe your crew member had a word to say."
I have not yet picked it up, but I am ready to go, giving Ash time to say things.
As an academic of the ANA and one who is committing his time and effort to research, first-hand research on the battlefield, I believe with our time spent with this artifact that I humbly request that maybe this artifact can be used against the enemy. It has proven useful in saving the life of one of our crew, and it has information that is vital for success on the battlefield.
Roll me a persuasion with advantage.
Oh no. Damn it. Okay.
An 11. Okay.
You know what? I want this for Ash. I'll give you my 1 inspiration.
Okay. Roll again.
Out of character, yes, it makes more drama.
Yes.
In character, put that thing back where it came from.
Oh, that's worse.
You
All
ruined
right.
my
the
life,
best roll
Ash.
is an 11.
Technically, he just ruined your
This is
inspiration.
what happens when you help people, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, never do it
I
again.
have a -2.
The human considers your words. You see, he is wearing the lapels, the markings of a captain. And he says, I appreciate your academic concerns. However, this artifact, while I agree with you, will be beneficial in use against the enemy, is not the sort that should be left within a Brahma on the front lines. It needs to be studied, researched carefully, and then used properly at the right time in the right place. Do you understand?
Ash will salute the captain. I understand. Just know that we have all had personal experience with it. And, well, I can't speak for everybody, but I think it can be trusted.
Well, my
You certainly can't
commendations.
speak.
My commendations on
everybody.
your mental fortitude, but perhaps we shall make that judgments for ourselves.
Of course.
And so, Regal says to you, Richard, well, you had him.
Well, it's been meeting you.
It's been meeting you.
That's a good one. I want that on a shirt right now. Just it's been me.
It's been
It's
meeting
been
you.
a time.
As you hold
We
out,
have met.
as you hold out the crown, the captain, the human man, holds out a fine black leather bag for you to put it into.
You're telling me we shouldn't have been fucking touching this thing?
You can never be too careful. It seems to vanish, and the bag doesn't get any larger. As he takes the bag back and puts it on his belt.
Dude, that bag holds so much.
Yes, it does.
It's like a bag of stuff.
It's like a bag of holding.
Stuffing. No, you stuffed it full. It's like a bag of stuffing.
I believe Corporal Tigan here will handle your repayments. Well done. I was told you were Brahma 19, but Razgar's revenge.
Yeah.
You have my thanks. And he salutes you. And as he turns to leave, the half-orc just nods and says, for a minute there, I thought that would get a little sticky.
Me too.
I'm glad it didn't.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a magic item. Physical Ash. These sorts of things can kind of get their hooks in, if you know what I'm saying.
I understand.
Right. So, your repayment. And then he reaches down and he opens up a crate with his foot. And as he pulls out pouches, he throws each of you one. And then to Zed, he throws a slightly different one. Compensation for your traumas at war there, Zed. Each of you will find within the pouches 350 gold pieces.
Hell yeah. When 350 you said?
Yes.
When the pouch lands in Joe's hands, she says, "Oh wait, don't forget about our bonus. The bonus to our crew, the civilian that we
right,
found
for
in Dusky Vale."
saving a civilian. Right. Thank you. I would have. He reaches down and he plucks out another pouch, and you see he fiddles with it for a little bit, the jingling of coin occurring. Then he holds out that pouch to whoever will take it.
Joe will take it.
That pouch contains an additional 300 gold pieces.
Thank you.
Oh,
A fine service you've done.
What, 5 ways?
Hold on. I have a plan for this.
6 ways. Give some money to.
I have a plan for this.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying out of character.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. In character, you're the one with the pouch.
One final thing from Ash. He takes out the 11 silver and the note, or the the letter to. Let me look at my notes. 1 sec.
The dead guy?
Yeah.
Corporal Diddy.
Look at that
Corporal
little baby.
Diddy. It was a letter to Lucilla Diddy, I
Yep.
believe.
And Silver's Reach.
Yeah. The sergeant takes it, or not the sergeant, I'm sorry, the corporal takes it from you, looking at it, he folds it up and he says, "We'll make sure this gets passed along." I knew it, Corporal Diddy. That's a shame. Alright. All of you have been entitled to 3 days R&R. You're welcome to spend that here in Stonefield. I recommend you do. If you go missing, we'll have to assume that you are dead.
Cool.
And report back after 6 days.
3 days.
Sorry, 3 days.
Got it. 4 days.
In 3 days, you're to report here to me at the latest 8 a.m. In the meantime, y'all are welcome to have rooms at the Red Mail. That is the inn that has provided their services to us in the past. If you want to rather stay somewhere else, you'll have to pay for it.
Nice.
Is
I'll pay
the
for it.
how's the chow hall today?
Full of food.
It's food.
You know what I mean.
Not great. You might be better off going somewhere else.
All right. I'll pay for your meal, Aaron.
Hold on a minute. That civilian, I do need to debrief her, so... She'll be let loose in maybe 20 minutes, if y'all are willing to wait.
Ash nods.
And so, with your orders to return, a pile of gold, and the promise of, finally, some rest and recovery from this long mission you just finished, the corporal kneels down next to Aaron, pulls out a chair next to her, and begins to debrief her, as Aaron begins to retell the events of Duskenvale and the events beforehand. And
Being
everything
honest?
since. Mostly.
Yeah.
Not our concern.
No. I don't interject. I don't think anybody else will.
Oh.
So, why don't we go ahead and take a 10-minute break here?
Makes tea.
Sounds like a plan. And we'll be back shortly. Alright, so, you are now loose on the town of Stonefield. Erin has just been briefed, well, debriefed, and is kind of cautiously following you. She doesn't really know where to go, because she's not from around here. Though, to be fair, neither are you. The first thing you
We were
notice is...
given a place to go.
you were told the Red Mail is a place that you can go where you can have rooms for free.
Now, what version of mail is this? Is it like a letter or...
Chainmail.
Chainmail.
Oh, see, I wasn't even close. I was thinking There was a couple different mails going through my
A
head.
letter, a
It's
dude.
spelled red, M-A-I-L-L-E.
Oh, is that how you spell it?
Melee.
It's the old
Is it like
archaic
saying
way.
ye old? Like
Yeah,
with
it's the
when
old
it's like
archaic way to
oldie?
spell
Ye
mail.
old melee.
That's cool. Okay. I learned something today, guys.
That's great. It is a tavern that's fairly close to the Stone Bastion. It's one of the first buildings that you find in the area called the Nest, which is the main district in Stonefield. It's this huge swath of buildings down the middle of it that is kind of... Stonefield has basically been taken over by the Serisian Royal Guard, but everyone is mostly okay with it because it means undead don't make it into the city. The walls of Stonefield are high, and there's not really a city guard anymore. The army and national reserves are what defend the city and also kind of keep it lawful. So there's not very many chances of people to pickpocket you either, or at least especially not when you're in uniform, because nobody's going to fuck with the soldiers. Everyone seems pretty grateful that you're here. In fact, as you're making your way up the streets, you find flowers are thrown at you.
Joe is uncomfortable.
I pick one up, and give a wave to the crowd.
Yeah.
It's not really a crowd. It's people that have opened their windows and see soldiers coming through. They're just tossing flowers out at you as you're walking by. And you're not the only ones that are receiving it. You're seeing other soldiers that are making their way up the street also getting, not pelted, but
Whatever you find next to the
basically
window, really.
wildflowers are getting hurled at them
Yeah.
as well. They smell nice, and it's a good way to make the city not smell like gross sewage.
I smell like soldiers that have been stuck in Brahmas for months.
Yeah.
Sweaty soldiers.
You see that the Red Mail is a tall building. It is made of red brick, which very much stands out. And you see that the windows, they are lined with very, very loose-ringed chainmail along the sides of them. That has clearly rusted. Very much so. Hence the name, the Red Mail. The doors are open and you hear the sounds of jeering and conversation coming from within. You can go there or you can explore the town. You can do anything you like. The floor is yours.
I
But
feel like,
Meal first.
yeah, let's simple on the first day. We just got our
I
our
thi-
land legs back.
No offense to Ricky. I love soup and I love your stews, but I could go for some fresh-ish meat.
I was gonna say, like, Ricky would have just like almost pushed Richard out of the way. How good does it smell coming from?
Get the
You
fuck out of my
smell.
way.
Just, not that I don't love your.
Yeah.
You smell a lot of
I have
honey
8
and you
strength, I
smell
just
a
go
lot
down.
of pork.
Mm.
Ooh, honeyed pork.
Honey
Yeah, I'm like-
pork.
I'm like, yep, this one, everybody.
Let's-
This is good.
Let's settle down, find a place that we know we're sleeping tonight, and then we'll talk shop.
Erin just is who's tagging along with you. She says, "Am I allowed to go in there?
100%.
Of
You're sure
course.
it's gonna be all right."
You're our
Of
guest.
course.
I've gotten fights for less.
Hey, honestly, after this meal, I think we should all like take some time for ourselves and split up. Do
After
what we
this
want
meal,
to do.
I'm ready for a bath and a bed.
That's fair. No offense, y'all are super nice mostly, but yeah.
Oh,
I've
we
been
smell.
stuck in a can with all of you for a while.
I say you eventually go nose blind to it, but I don't want to lie to you.
Well, at least you're honest. The Red Mail has its doors open to you, and as you approach, it is not crazy loud. It's not crazy busy right now. It is about maybe 2 in the afternoon as you have pulled into Stonefield. And as you're entering the Red Mail, let me go ahead and pull up the Tavern Splash because you're at a tavern. There is a stout-looking halfling standing behind the bar as all of you enter. Well, hello there. Y'all look like a couple of soldiers that need a meal and a rest and a bath.
You could not be more on the nose.
All right. I'm gonna ask that you bathe first before you hit the beds, but
Yeah, that's fair.
right now we got honeyed ham steak coming out off the range.
Done.
Is that good enough? All right. Have a seat. Drinks will be out in a moment.
I thought we were bathing first.
I don't care
Before
what you.
Bathe
we
them
go
before
to
bed.
bed.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I wasn't listening.
I see that. I know you're kind.
What? Is this pick on Joe Day?
Oh, you're Joe?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I'm Matthew.
Nice to meet you, Matthew.
Richard.
Ale or water?
Ale.
He looks to
Ale.
each of one of you and says ale or water.
Yeah.
Ale, please.
Ale.
Fair enough. And
I have not had any booze in so long.
you hear her open a hatch, and suddenly comes out with root cellar cold ale that each one is served to each of you.
And I have mine in the bowl. I'm just kidding. No.
Is that racist? Was that racist? Can he be
It
racist
isn't if
to
he's
himself?
making the joke. It's not racist if you make it yourself.
Richard looks at us like, it feels racist, right?
It was just a little bit of humor. I'm sorry.
Zed orders the appropriate drink that he would typically get.
Richard, after being in jail and then going through basic and then going through this mission or whatever mission before, has not had ale in so long.
Yeah, I imagine.
And he is holding this cup like to spill a single drop is a mortal sin. And just very slowly, and just...
Joe's just looking at you like, I had whiskey.
It
like,
is-
on me.
You had this whole...
I didn't know you were
I need a minute.
itching.
I just need a
You
minute.
never professed that you want...
The ale is crisp and cool. It's pretty mild as far as alcohol goes, but it does burn a little. It is.
It might
Good
as well
enough.
be ambrosia.
It's not sour, which is nice. As you all sit down, have your ale served to you. It doesn't take long before each of you is handed a large platter on a wooden dish of just a thick, 1-inch thick cut of pork steak, and then a big old pile of what look like maybe red potatoes. It smells really good, and it's better eating than you've had in a while. No offense, anybody. If you eat the meal from the red mail, each of you gains
11.
9 temporary hit points,
Yeah.
which only goes away once it is dealt damage to, basically.
Nice.
So if, it will survive through long rests, is what I'm saying. Oh,
Nice.
one moment
I think our goals.
for now. You have entered the tavern. You've got food. Okay. Looking at my list here. All right. Can I get a perception check from anybody whose passive perception is greater than 15?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Ooh.
I rolled really well.
I rolled a 19 as well.
We rolled the same. Fuck you. Joe
Okay.
and Ash are like traumatized from life and are just on a swivel at all times.
Well, the three of you all see the same thing. There is a half-elven woman who is like seated at the bar, and she's just looking over at you every few moments. You catch her, and she doesn't look excited. She doesn't look happy. She looks anxious.
Did she look familiar to any of us?
No.
I think Joe will catch Richard and Ash's eyes because we probably all looked over and then back at each other at the same time.
We're
She
like,
could just-
we're the three people who see things.
I just picture Ricky's just scooping food in her mouth.
But like really slowly, I'm like savoring every
Mhm.
bite, and every time somebody tries to talk to me, I'm just like hand in the face, like no.
Like you try to take
You know-
food that a dog is eating, and they're just like. "Arr."
Ricky, you're pretty sure with how much attention you focused on this food, you're pretty sure there's rose water in that honey, and it is delicious.
You can set the accents.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready. Like after like a couple ales, I'll be back in the kitchen chatting with the cooks.
So Joe kind of looks over at you two. What do you make of that?
Well, right now, nothing. Other than that, she's clearly interested in us.
It doesn't seem like
And not in the fun way.
That's exactly what I was going to say, not in a fun way.
Now, if we all turn and just look at her, maybe she'll approach or she'll go away.
I'm up for a good old unison death glare.
And I thought I was the one without any tact.
There's a difference between tact and specifically messing with people.
I don't know what you mean.
As you three are talking about this, Aaron, who's at the table, says, I recognize her from Duskenvale.
She's looking at you then.
I guess.
What do you mean? You know who she is?
No, I just remember seeing her around there.
So she's a survivor.
Well, she wasn't there when everything went to hell.
Oh.
So she might
She got
have
out in
known
time.
it was going to hell.
Or she was out before everything happened.
I think that's what Richard meant, Ash.
Yeah.
As she knew ahead of time.
She knew what was coming and got out.
Well, I'm still up for the unison look over and stare.
No.
I'll do it with you, Ash. You wanna
no.
give me the countdown? I'll do it with you.
No. Ash, I'm not Ash. Joe looks over in that woman's direction, and if the woman looks back and catches Joe's eye, she'll kind of lift her drink and kind of like nod in their direction, like it's an invitation to join them.
The half
Yeah, that was that's cool.
Toward the counter. You see, like she thinks to herself for a moment, and then she stands up. And then she approaches and she says, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a pest. I heard y'all went by Duskenvale."
We did.
I was meaning to go back there next week, but they were telling me it's been attacked, and I was hoping to find out if Sheriff Lawson's still there.
Joe looks at Aaron.
Yeah, so does
Aaron
so does
looks up at the woman and then to you guys, and then she just shakes her head. And the woman says,
Yeah, there was no one alive when we got there.
You see this woman's face drops. And she just looks at the ground. She says, "Sorry." And then she just leaves the bar.
Fuck. Should we go after her? I don't know. I'm not really good at this whole cheer up thing. She must have known him.
I'm sure she's
I don't
got
think-
better people to grieve with than a couple of random soldiers.
Maybe,
and I don't think we have anything really good to say, or
Close.
But you can tell
Ricky's
her
gonna just
everybody's
stand up
dead.
in the middle of all of this. You said she like walked out of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of everyone kind of trying to decide, Ricky will just like kind of like again, kind of fist on the table or whatever, stand up, kind of like chase her out, just like try and catch her at the door.
That's a woman of action right there.
And
Okay.
like maybe like if I can like grab her arm or like just something to like catch her attention. And I'll just quickly say, I'm really sorry about. I'm really sorry. We see this a lot, and I think we forget.
She's shaking her head and like is trying to. She's not making eye contact with you. And
Yeah,
she's
and then
not- It's clear she's trying
Yep.
to hold back tears.
It's not clear, did you say? Or
is.
it
It
clear?
is clear
It is
that she's trying not
Yeah.
to cry in front of you.
Okay, so I'll just say, oh, I just wanted to let you know I've lost someone too. And I can't say it's going to get better. But I can say that you're going to go on.
Roll
And
me.
you just have to keep going on.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Are we so uncharismatic? Oh, that's a good roll. All right, I
Hey.
take it back.
It's the honesty in your voice is what stops her. You see that a moment ago she was trying to just push you away and get out of the bar. But the earnestness in what you're saying and how you say it, she looks at you, and you see the tears just start flowing. And then before the next moment passes, she grabs you in a hug.
And then I'll just say, I'm really sorry I haven't bathed yet. And then I'll hug her back.
She's just is... It's clear she's trying to be quiet, but she's bawling into your shoulder.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I'll just like try and calm her and just kind of repeat like I'm so sorry.
It takes like a good minute before she finally releases the death grip on you that she has. Thank you. And sorry about this. This is my husband. Y'all are good folk. And then she turns and runs out of the bar.
Joe was watching that whole thing. Was there anything sus about that lady?
Roll me an insight check.
Because emotion is dead for Joe. Terrible. 12.
She looks like someone in extreme emotional distress.
Too bad I gave Ash my inspiration.
Joe had an emotion once. It was terrible. She
That
decided
was
to never
terrible.
have it
Do
Never
not
again.
recommend. No, thank you. While that was happening, could Joe have slipped something in Aaron's belongings?
Sleight of hand.
Yeah. Really good. 22.
Does anybody's passive perception beat a 22?
Nope.
Then yes, you can. I do need to know what it is.
She
so please
gives
whisper it to me,
the.
or...
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. She gives the entire bonus plus 100 of her own gold.
Oh shit.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
It's more than we got.
And just acts casual.
Okay. Sure. Then eventually, when you check your belongings, you have 400 more gold than you started with, than you got from the when you thought you had.
Aaron does.
Oh, Aaron! Fuck. I'm sorry. I misunderstood who you were giving that to. She's not going to notice for a while, but...
That's fine.
Okay.
Joe would be angry if she did, because then she'd be like, oh, I have to deal with that now.
Okay.
Emotions.
Yeah.
Oh no, the consequences of my actions.
Yeah.
I don't think Zed even has a fucking chance. No, he wouldn't see it either.
No.
Okay. You do that.
Once Ricky comes back to the table, Joe would look over at Richard and say, we're gonna have to restock up on supplies before we go out, you know. Shells, rations, black
know,
powder.
You
She
all...
looks at him.
Okay.
Insight check.
I suspect at this point, Richard, you are accustomed to the mentions of black powder.
Yeah.
So roll me deception at advantage.
Black powder. Oh, he rolled ball and
I
sack.
did.
Yeah, you rolled really bad. So even though you've hardened against it somehow, something slips out. You look a little tense, maybe.
I look tense and I look at her and just go, what the fuck do you want to know about me? Because clearly you want to keep pushing this button.
I want to know why you look so uncomfortable. Richard, we're teammates.
Because it had something to do with why I got sent to prison.
You don't think I should know about that? Working closely together, like if you're some crazy psycho, like why would I want to sleep with my back not turned? Pretend that made sense.
Clearly you don't have that big of a problem with it, considering you refused to kill me before.
I don't
To
want to
save
kill an innocent
everybody
man,
else.
but if there's a reason I should be concerned, I feel like I'm owed that explanation.
There was a robbery, it went wrong, a lot of innocent people died.
In black powder?
In a wagon coming from Black Powder. Heading toward Port Refuge. Or Refuse.
Refuge.
Nope, refuge.
Is it Refuge?
Port
Damn it.
garbage.
Port
Port
trash
garbage.
can.
Ricky and Rich are garbage people from Garbage Port.
Joe would look at you and say, "People from black powder, did they perish?"
Yeah.
How many?
I don't know. I didn't. It's not something I like reliving.
When was this?
I we'll say like 3 years ago. That fits in the timeline, probably.
Does that sound right, Echo?
No, it should have been sooner than that. Maybe like a year
Oh.
ago.
A year ago.
Year and a half.
When did Joe leave black powder on this timeline? Before that? After that?
Before that.
Do you know the names of these people? Any of them?
Only the people on my side. I don't know who was on the wagon coming from Black Powder.
See, I do have a problem with that, Richard. I got family in black powder.
No one was supposed to be on it. It was supposed to, at this point he's just quiet. It's like, it was supposed to be fabric. Fucking fabric. Someone was bringing fabrics. We were gonna steal luxury fabric.
What happened?
It wasn't fabrics. Coincidentally, black powder, someone was smuggling, can you believe it, black powder.
From black powder.
Yeah.
That's why it's named that. It's got a lot of it.
No, that's why it's named that.
And there were refugees that you didn't know about?
Yeah. They were smuggling black powder and clearly some refugees. Normally when you do an ambush, you scare them a little bit, you get what you want, and then you leave.
Instead of killing them all.
And then they don't shoot back.
How many people died, Richard?
I don't know.
Inside check.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an insight check.
Do you truly not know? I rolled a 20.
He doesn't know.
You dick!
What? Hold on.
Penny.
You're the one pushing up terrible memories in this
Fuck you.
open area, and you're like, you dick, how dare you?
He doesn't know.
Is there some way you can find out?
Who would you like me to talk to here?
I don't fucking know, Richard.
I was imprisoned back at Port Refuge?
Yeah.
Is that where the prison would be?
Yes.
Okay. I was imprisoned back at Port Refuge. I'm sure if I sent the warden a letter, just, hey, it's me, Richard, that guy they let out to die on the battlefield. Still alive, BT dubs. Hey, you know how many people died?
How many people and who? Is what I want to know. How many of my friends and family might have been on there?
I don't know. Joe, I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe sorry.
Every day.
Good talk. I'm gonna turn in tonight. She just gets up, goes to get her room.
Make sure you bathe before.
She
Never
just
mind.
flicks you off.
As Joe gets up, Richard, you find your eyes just kind of turn to the side and you're looking at Aaron. Sorry, your job went bad.
Me too. Every day keeps me awake. My ears still ring from the explosion. Reminds me every quiet, anytime the quiet of a morning, just before bed, anytime I'm alone with my thoughts in the silence, all I hear is the ringing. And all it does is remind me of the mistakes I made.
Does mean one thing.
What?
Means you're a good man.
A good man wouldn't have been a highwayman to start with.
You might not have been then, but you are now.
I'm sure Joe will see it that way in the morning.
She doesn't see much. She thinks she does, but she doesn't see fuck all.
Gonna regret that money, Aaron.
Not there.
I know.
Well, I hope everybody has had a good meal. I do have
The pork was delicious.
some things to check on myself before I turn in, but I hope you all have a good night.
Thanks, Ash. I'm gonna go get a bath. And Aaron hops off the bench and goes up to the bathrooms.
I'll see you all later.
Richard will start a card game with a bunch of random people.
Okay. Do you cheat?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, roll me sleight of hand.
He's a betting man.
$25.
25. Hold on.
Yeah, no, my expertise is in sleight of hand and perception.
Of course it is. How much money are you betting?
We'll be small. We'll like 2 gold.
Okay. You, over this next period of time, you've earned 6 gold by cheating.
Nice. I just let off some steam by swindling some other soldiers.
Ricky, what you up to?
Joe, before you left, did you finish your food?
I think she probably got halfway through.
That's what I was guessing. So, in the middle of all of that, I've picked up Joe's plate as well to finish. And then as everybody kind of gets up and goes other places, I'm going to kind of like pick that plate up as I'm finishing it. And I'm going to, if I can, head back to the kitchen. I want to talk to the cooks.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Trade notes.
As you head towards the kitchens, at one moment the halfling like stops you and says, wait, where are you going? Where are you going?
Was there rose in the... I think I tasted rose. I just want to go back and talk to your cooks. It was delicious.
Hey, gourmet! Someone wants to talk to you. And you hear, well, send them in. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I'm like so excited running back there.
As you enter the kitchens, it's broad with long tables. You see there are probably like 7 carcasses of wild boar that are in the process of being taken apart to be cooked. And you see, handling a knife like an old pro is a Goliath, cutting up meat, and looks over and says, "Hello, can I help you?"
Dinner was delicious, and I feel I just wanted to come see. I know recipes are very important, and so I don't mean to step on any toes, but if there's anything you can share about tonight's meal, I would love to know. I'm a bit of a cook myself.
You see his face splits into a wide smile, and he says, I would be happy. Yes, come on back. And he begins to break down what it was that he had cooked and how he made it. He says, the old family recipe from across the pond, you know. I like to use rose and lots of things that I use, and I heard you caught it. So,
I did. It can be hard because it's subtle, but yeah,
If
you
you-
feel
if
it
you-
in your nose.
if you blend it in the honey, after you cook the meat, it doesn't burn off. And then it sticks around after they start to eat it. It's a neat trick my grandmother taught me. Go ahead and roll me just a general charisma roll for how this conversation goes. 14. That's pretty good. As you have a conversation with the cook, with Gourmet, the Goliath, he eventually gives you a small wooden box of spices, and he says, for your rolled rations, these will harshen up some of the flavorless meat that you get. It might help. Mechanically,
I'll get like.
mechanically, meals that you cook and use these spices with will grant an additional 2 temporary hit points.
Okay. I'll get like really giddy and excited, and I guess he's like finally somebody's like bigger than me.
Yeah, he's like
So I'll,
8 feet tall.
yeah, I'll, cause I'm like I'm human, but I'm like a big human.
Mhm.
So I'll kind of like look up at him and I'll just say, okay, so there's a lot of rules here about baths and stuff, so I won't hug you, but I am really thank you so much. I'm really appreciative.
Why don't you hug me after you've washed up? Whatever, turn down the hug.
It's a deal.
I'm like cold,
So yeah, I'll make him
emotionless
and head
people.
out.
And he waves goodbye.
Nice.
All right, so that happens. Ash,
You made a friend.
you said you had something you were trying to do?
Yeah, I'm also gonna get a room to myself just to take off the armor and just get into traditional civilian clothes. But the plan is to, when I come back down into the main tavern, just have a look around, see if I recognize anybody from an old unit or a unit I recognize.
Roll me D100.
I sent you a message, Echo.
31.
Stand by while he reads my nonsense.
Oh, I can't wait for a bomb or something to go off in Richard's room while he's sleeping.
You know your art, your profile picture? I
Also, by the way, that
thaumaturgy
was-
your bed every hour while you sleep so that you wake up. Thank you.
All right. I'm sorry. Ash, you're looking for someone that you recognize in the red mail, and you rolled a 31. Which means that mostly, surprisingly, the tavern goers right now are civilians. You don't see any other soldiers that you recognize. No one seems to ring any bells. At least, not yet.
Okay. If he doesn't see anybody you recognize, he'll go back to, well, I don't have a map of the town anymore, but the main.
I will
Where-
make the map available to you to just hop to if you need to.
Cool. Load time.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. All
No
right.
worries.
The Stone Bastion. He'll make his way to the Stone Bastion. And as he's walking through the town, he'll keep an eye out for, just amongst the soldiers there, anybody he recognizes.
Okay. This is much more likely.
Yeah.
In this case, it's almost inevitable. So please roll me an investigation check.
Oh, investigation. I was gonna roll a D100. Oh, 13.
13. It's not until you get all the way into the Stone Bastion that you find someone familiar. You see, over on the far side of the Stone Bastion, on the other side of the entire work bay, where you see Razgar's Revenge is lifted up on this platform and is currently being worked on. Its gun is completely removed. And you see that there's a lot more damage to it than you first initially thought. That aside, you see across
Don't
the
let them
room-
hurt my gun.
Yeah. Across the room, you recognize it's a woman that you remember not having served with, but one that was part of a platoon that came and saw you and the other physicers during one of your other stations. You see she's an Air Genasi. You don't remember her name, but you recognize her, and you remember that she was very grateful for the work that you and your, unit did to help theirs. So much so that she sees you, and she says, "Well, if it ain't the little shit!" And she walks over toward you and says, "Well, how the hell have you been?"
Oh, just marching across undead territory and trying to get to a safe place, doing what I can.
But you did it in a sardine can, right?
Aye, yes.
It's good to see you again. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good to see you're doing well.
It's your work that I still got a leg, so thanks.
Good to see you here. Are you with another unit, another Brahmo unit, or just infantry?
No, I'm out of the cans now. Now I'm back on foot, but they got me posted here for the next month.
Okay. Have you seen any other tabaxi about my height around?
You see she thinks about it. I'm gonna roll. Your kind are pretty obvious when you show up. I saw you across the room. Yeah, I think so. Looked a bit like you.
A little more feminine?
I don't know.
Okay.
You
I
can
can't
check
tell.
under the tail.
I didn't really talk to him. I suppose that's maybe family.
Do you know if they're here or?
Nah, they're not here. They
Okay.
shipped out a couple weeks ago.
I see. All right then.
I think they were on
Oh.
there. I think they were on high patrol, but with horses. So they're probably already back in Silver's Reach around that parts.
Okay, good. It's good to see you. I'm looking for someone specific, but it's good running into you again.
Yeah. Hey, I never caught your name.
You can call me Ash.
You can call me Wisp.
Good to see you again, Wisp.
You take care of yourself, little guy.
I don't know how to respond to that, but you take care of yourself as well.
Well, if I catch you at the mail, I'll get you a drink. How's that? For saving
Sounds
my leg.
good. 3 days R&R. You know where I'm at.
Yeah, I'll find you. Now I gotta get back before they yell at me.
Okay.
She kind of twirls a wrench around her fingertips and goes back toward the other soldiers that are working.
Awesome. He's gonna step into the Stone Bastion and would there be possibly a record of like a list of casualties or like maybe a death list of
A
You
death
can
note,
certainly
maybe?
you can certainly try and find them, but we can get to that in a minute. I don't want to. We can.
yeah.
We'll get back.
We are not allowed to find a death note until Joe and Richard make up.
Richard, what are you up to? You're gambling stuff, or are you doing something?
After gambling, Richard, maybe calmed a little bit, will definitely head to the bath. Is it like a communal bath, or is it just like here's a tub in like this little area, just lock the door?
So the baths are basically split. It's a communal sort of thing
Okay.
where one side is for women, the other side's for men. There's lots of towels available, and the water all seems hot.
Yeah, I'll grab Zeb, and if Ash is back, I'll offer it to Ash. It's like,
You bros sitting in a hot
yeah,
tub.
yeah. We're right next to each other because it's slightly gay.
Look at
Everything's
his
a
shirtless
little gay.
body.
He's always shirtless.
Zed says
He'll-
something appropriately
Sexually charged.
agreeable, with
yeah.
a little bit of homoeroticism.
But yeah, if Ash is back too, I'll offer it to Ash. I'm just like, hey Ash, we're heading to the baths. You want to come?
At the moment,
Oh, he's gonna be gone for a while.
yeah, Ash.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Ash
That
is
was
searching
like
for
a
dead
different
people.
tabaxi.
Okay.
Okay.
It was actually
Different
just a
tabaxi.
regular house cat.
That racist feels racist. Ash can never know.
Zed confirms that was a little racist.
I swear, Zed's the
Man,
secret
Zed's banter has been on point today.
But yeah, other than that, I will head to the baths and then head to sleep.
Okay. I mean, if you take a bath for the next hour, you have advantage on charisma checks.
Cool.
That's what happens. You're also clean. It's very nice. Joe,
That's the more important bit.
what are you up to, Joe?
Like I sent that letter.
Mhm.
Sorry, I sent that message to you. She's working on a letter,
Got it.
and she had bathed before she did that, so she was out of the bath well before Richard and Zed went in.
Got it.
And she goes to bed early, and probably has trouble falling asleep.
Probably. All right, Ricky. Is there anything that you're doing after your encounter with Gourmet the cook?
Not that evening. I don't think. I might sit and chat with folks in the bar for like another round or two, and then I'll head up for a bath and bed as well.
Just before you head up, you see Erin approaches you, and she looks a little distressed. Hey, I know I was supposed to get a little bit of a cut, but I got a lot of gold, and I don't know where the hell it came from. Did you give it to me? Because I didn't pick anybody. I swear, I didn't take this from anyone. And she holds out a bag, and you see it's a lot of money.
Did I see this happen
No.
earlier?
No, you did not.
Yeah. I did not give that to you. But I mean, we've been traveling together for a while, and you seem like a good person. I believe you. I don't know where that came from. We could ask everybody else in the morning if you want.
I mean, I just don't want it to be an accident, you know? I don't want anyone to be lacking. She looks very anxious right now. If you could ask around, maybe just make sure it was on purpose, because I'll give it back if it wasn't.
No, I'll make sure, but things like this aren't. It's probably not an accident. Everybody has a hard time. You've had a hard time. Maybe this is just a good time instead. Maybe
So,
this is just a good thing.
what do you think I should do?
Well, I mean, if that were me, I'd try every inn in the entire city here to see which one had the best food. But I mean, I don't know what.
She kind of frowns and says, "That I don't think I'm going to do that, but all right. Maybe I'll ask around tomorrow morning once everyone's awake. But if you didn't, all right. Thanks, Ricky. I'm going to go try and get some sleep." She looks very confused as she leaves.
I left a note.
Might have been wise.
It's Joe.
Okay. Ash, we're hopping back to you. What are you doing? You're looking for death people.
Just a list of known casualties that may have come through the wire,
You are
like the
forwarded
radio.
on. You're forwarded on to the back rooms with administration.
Yes.
It is quiet. It is dismal. Everything is stone and cold. Roll me an investigation check, and tell me what it
Okay.
is that you're looking for.
I am looking for the name Soft Ringing Bells on the casualty list.
I see.
Just or looking for the lack thereof of that name.
Yeah, roll investigation. I'll say you can have advantage because the clerks there would help you.
Awesome. 24.
With a 24, you do not find the name Soft Ringing Bells.
All right. Relieved. I'll go take a bath and go to bed.
Okay.
That's the only thing I wanted to do.
As all of you kind of sort out your affairs, get the beginnings of relaxation, maybe, get yourselves cleaned up and go to sleep, that is where we will stop tonight's session. Ooh. All right. Thank you all for playing with me tonight. I hope you had a great time. Before anything else, we will first dive into the player-voted inspiration. So, top of the table, AJ, who did something that you liked, and why?
Yeah, this. I've been thinking about it. I was gonna go first, and this was really hard because I felt like there was group role play multiple times tonight. That was just awesome. But if I have to give it to one person, I am going to give it to Penn because I loved the like push to have everybody talk about what they like would want the group to do if they died. I just felt like that was so appropriate for the campaign setting, and it was like Joe was the right person to like push that conversation. So I thought that was really great.
Thanks.
All right. Class, you're next.
I'm gonna give it to AJ just for the irritation after a bad night's rest, and just several other moments of just emotions getting to Ricky, and consoling the grieving widow. That was well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Keesby.
I am going to be a little selfish. I was going to give it to Ricky because of the whole like food thing and just being grumpy in the morning, but I'm going to give it to Penn for just like setting up the moment for like Richard to explode and just be like, what do you want? And just like taking
Any
it in
moment
stride.
I could wheedle in black powder, I was gonna.
Yeah, and just like taking it in stride and hopefully understanding that was all like in game of just
Yes.
Richard being upset with Joe.
I was so here for it. I have to have the ability to understand that people are going to be irritated with me because I'm playing an irritating person.
Right.
And
Which
sometimes I am one.
I do like it. I like that it set me up perfectly. So if I'm giving it to
I
Penn.
love emotions.
Okay.
Joe doesn't, but I do.
All right, so that votes for Penn. Penn, you're next.
I'm going to give it to AJ because I would kill and die for Ricky.
Oh yeah.
She is so goddamn cute all the time, which is the juxtaposition of being like this tall, buff barbarian with anger issues, and also just being just such a good little bean. And I like she's also so multifaceted. She's not just like the contrast of being strong, but also like sweet and well-meaning. Like I just love her pursuit of the culinary arts and like having so much like care for it and attention for it. And I liked seeing the rage outside of battle of when Joe pissed her off unintentionally after a rough night, like because her rage isn't just in battle to be utilized. It's not just a mechanic for her. She has real deep-seated issues with her anger, and most of us still don't know why. I surely don't, but I can't wait to get more into that shit, and I just really enjoy her a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Which means, as we have a tie, both AJ and Penn are awarded an inspiration point for the player vote. Because I don't do ties. You each get a point, so well done.
I mean, shout out to Richard too. I really enjoyed our back and forth with the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got an inspiration point for making stupid faces in the scope. So
I did.
Yeah. I really liked Richard. Like you really delved into the pain that Richard.
Yes,
I felt it.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good.
Richard's really fun to play. I like that he's like the sassy, like normal rogue guy, but also I like playing. This is just a me personal thing. I like playing characters that can fall on their face to make other people like have their moments of just like I did it. I tried to at least with Ricky today of just like, yeah, you just pushed me away. It's like, hey, we should go to hard.
Yes, it's a good quality to have. I will say I love having all of you at my table. I'm having a great time running this. I hope you guys are having a great time playing it. Thank you again for joining me. To those of you who are at home, I can't wait to play.
Or at work.
And yes, or at work. Hi, Penn.
Hi, Penn.
Can't wait to see you again. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Good night,
Bye,
everyone.
Internet.